everybody, and welcome to the United Stand. How are we all doing? I hope you're all doing very, very well. We have got the team news coming in for you. Should be right now, actually. It should be in right now. Let's have a look, everybody. Let's see if we've got that official Manchester United team news. The great news is we know that Matic isn't playing. And here is the team news. He isn't playing. Fred's playing, Pogba's playing, Pereira's playing, Lingard's playing, Chong's playing, Greenwood's playing. I tell you what, we've got exactly the right team on the screen. Have we got exactly the right team on the screen? We've got exactly the right team on the screen, apart from, let me just double check, Mata. Mata is not playing. Pereira plays instead. I tell you what, it's a good team. It's a good team, and amazingly, Twansebi is captain. Oh my life, that is a brilliant bit of news, isn't it? Come on. I mean, over Pogba as well. Twansebi captain. Love it. That is a reward for a player that I think speaks very, very well, and that's a bit of positivity, big bit of positivity from the club there. So happy with that. I'm just going to amend the team for you so people stop moaning. But that team I've got on the left or on your right or whatever. Let's not get caught between what's right and left and all that bollocks. That's the team, and I'm just about to update it for you now. Let me just think what it would be. It would be called that. There we go. Save it. Yes, thank you. I will. And there's your team. So look, we're happy with that, aren't we? I think that's a good team, isn't it? I think we're happy with that. Is Wan-Bissaka playing as well? I might have just missed one player by mistake. Why is Wan-Bissaka playing? Why is Wan-Bissaka playing? Dalot probably not fit then because he's not even on the bench. So, yeah, we've not got everybody right. That's a bit of a surprise, actually. Very big surprise that there's no Dalot playing because he must be carrying an injury because he would definitely have been playing today. So we've got to make another change. Bloody hell. I thought we had it there. I thought we bloody had it, and we haven't. So, yeah, it's still I think that's a bit like Angel Gomez not being involved, isn't it? It's unfortunate. With regards to that. But the bench is Grant, Lindelof, Williams, Garner, Mata, McTominay and James. So no Dalot, no Gomez. We knew well, you might not know. We knew that Gomez was not going to be involved today. Apparently he's got a muscle injury. Garner is on the bench, Ruby, Pradhan, and no place for Dalot. So it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, so about an hour's time. Don't worry, we've got it covered. I can tell you radio stations to listen to. If you're in America, you can watch it on ESPN Plus, you lucky sods. Not on the telly in the UK, but we will have it covered. It is a watch along, and we will have it, as per usual, updating you with the goals and the key moments. So don't worry about that. Why is Jones starting after the comments he made, says Alex Lovell? Because that's what Manchester United do. Matic did the same thing. But he's not the captain. Maybe that's a bit of a punishment for Phil Jones to be such an experienced player but not be named as captain. I think is a good thing. So perfect captain, says somebody there. I would have said who it was, but I just cannot. Snuz Mumriken. Yes, playing Bissaka versus Rochdale is embarrassing, says Archie. It is. It is a little bit playing embarrassing to play, but it is Wednesday night, and we're not playing again until next Monday. So, you would imagine that Wan-Bissaka will play against Arsenal. Then he won't play again until Newcastle on the Sunday. I don't think we'll be playing him in the Europa League. But this is the problem with Manchester United. We have big problems with injuries. We know we've had, Pogba's back, Martial and Shaw is still out, but in between that, we've had Gomez pick up an injury, Rashford's picked up an injury, Dalot's picked up an injury again. There's just constant injuries at Manchester United, and I don't know what they put in the water. Pussy juice. I don't know what I mean, and I don't mean like that. I don't mean that. I mean like they're weak, like little kittens. It's not. They're not very strong. They're spineless United players. They always have been. They've got real problems with injuries, haven't they? So Dalot, I don't know the official line, bad man. I don't know the official line with Dalot, but he is injured. Otherwise, that wouldn't have worked. Twansebi captain is a surprise, says Johans Grodin. It is a surprise, and I hope it's not a token surprise, to be honest with you. I hope it's I hope it isn't. Look, you know what? We're going to get Draughty on in a bit, and the reality is that Patrice Evra has been talking a lot lately. He's been training with the United side, and he's been talking a lot lately, and he's basically put a tweet out this afternoon saying that if you're not positive and supporting the club in the bad times, you can't support them in the good times. And I just think, you know what? Evra's either now a cheerleader for Woodward and the Glazers, or he's desperate to be part of Manchester United. Because I think for a legend to come out like that, it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing. Because what I would say to Evra is, Patty, or whatever you want to be called, is that, you know, what do you want Manchester United fans to do then? Just to sit back and cheer and hope? That's not how change occurs. When something's not good, change doesn't occur because you trust in the regime that's delivering shit. You know, you've got the people who care, who really care about this club, are the people who are brave enough to be vocal about what they perceive to be the problems at this football club. And actually, I don't think the football club has a major problem with it. You know, in many ways, it does them good to know what's going wrong. So whenever comes out a legend of Manchester United and says, we need positivity now, and if you're not positive now, you can't be positive when we win things. How's about shut up? Like, who are you to tell anybody how they have to think and how they have to feel? It's a guilt trip into lubing yourself up and bending over, isn't it? That's what it is. Oh, everybody be positive about the crap situation we're in. Because that's exactly what the Glazers want, because they want the share price to go up. Personally, I don't. If the share price goes down, it goes down because we're not doing very well. And I'm not going to shut up moaning about what's going on, because I will keep saying this is the worst squad we've ever had. This is the worst midfield we've ever had. And we're in a bad situation at the moment. But maybe we'll pick up on that in a minute. The great thing is that tonight is a little bit of light relief, isn't it? You know, we're going to beat Rochdale. They're awful. And for once in a long, long time, we might actually score more than 3 goals, especially with that team. I think that midfield 3 will be too much. And I don't normally like our midfield. And many people think our midfield's championship standard or mid-table standard, but we're playing a bottom half League One side. And Pogba, Fred and Pereira should be dominating a Rochdale midfield. Really excited to see Chong and Greenwood, see what they can do. And Lingard, it is an opportunity for Jesse Lingard to bang a couple of goals in and get a bit of confidence in his boots, to be honest with you. Keep up the good work, Mark. Watch your show every day. My wife says you look slimmer since last summer, says Calvin Drago. Thank you very much. I don't know why that is. To be honest with you. I don't know why that is. You know, I don't know. Good stuff. Ollie will park the bus, says Mangesh Gadaka. No, never in a million years. He's not going to do that. What's your view on the rumour Mandzukic is coming in January, says Steve Martin? It makes me want to cry, really. Where was this team on Sunday, says Marky. You having a laugh? Like, why would you pick this team on Sunday? Jones and Twansebi, Marcus Rojo, Romero, Pogba was injured. You know, I think where was Fred on Sunday? And Greenwood was ill as well. Chong played badly against Astana and Lingard's crap. I think there's only, when you say this, where was this team on Sunday? I'm sorry for sort of dismissing you, but there's only Fred who should have played on Sunday. The rest of them were either injured, not ready, or not good enough, to be honest with you. Will Martial be fit for Arsenal, says Duats? I think he will be. I think he's probably just not quite ready yet. But, I mean, let's be honest. Monday is 5 days away. And quick maths. And I think that he will be back. Riot, it's Daniel, says, Mark, I'm from Ireland and I love your channel. Thank you very much. Abdulwalab says, where's Delo? I don't know. And Godson, I think he's got an injury. And Mark, because he's not even on the bench. And Godson says, Mark, hopefully Greenwood gets a goal to boost his confidence for the Arsenal game and hopefully he doesn't get injured. Yes, I would hope that as well. Fair points. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams after this game and every game, match reactions, previews, loads of stuff going on. Lots of good feedback for the video we did at lunchtime talking about United potentially being up for sale. I don't think that they are. Michael Van Gerwen says, that's our best midfield. McTominay instead of Pereira maybe, but that's the 4 that have to play our big games. Love the show, Mark, here since 10k. Thank you, Michael Van Gerwen, for the super chat there. How are you watching the game, people, says Martin Davidson. Well, I'm sure people will put it in the live comments how they're going to do it. I will be listening to it. MUTV app, if you want to get it on there. And BBC Radio Manchester as well is another option for you. So yeah, there's a way. There's always a way, isn't there? And I'm sure people have got other ways. Did you watch AFTV comparing Bellerin with Wan-Bissaka, says Leon Biggs? I don't listen to those flip-flops because what they say today, they change tomorrow. You know, they change their opinions like they change their pants. I know for a fact they were slagging Bellerin off last season, saying he's not good enough. And now, because we've got the best right back in the league, they're suddenly trying to make out they've got a good right back. I mean, Bellerin, to me, is better off looking like a girl on a catwalk. I don't really rate Bellerin. I think he's okay and he's fast, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I was filming my combined 11 for Arsenal United today, actually, so you'll see that tomorrow. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, there's going to be only one club when I do a combined 11 this season that can argue not for him to be in it, and that's Liverpool. Like, he is the best right back in the Premier League. He has been a superb signing. He is titanium. I've never seen a right back or a full back so good at defence. He is it's total confidence, and I know he gets beat sometimes. And then when somebody does get past him, it ends up being like a viral tweet for our rivals because, oh, look at Wan-Bissaka, he wasn't good there. Because they analyse his game so much that when he does get somebody running past him, which happens to most fullbacks 3 or 4 times a game, he's just such a good defender. Karen took the kids, says, that's a funny name. Blind loyalty is dumb. Criticism from the fans usually means there's genuine concern with the trajectory of the club. Well done, Mark. Exactly. You know what? I'm a little bit disappointed in Evra saying that because I've heard this comment loads of times since I've been doing the United stand. Win, lose or draw, be positive and support the team. No. Win, support the team. Lose, support the team. Draw, support the team because you support Manchester United. But if they lose or they draw and they're crap, then tell them they're crap. And maybe not after one game. I think some people used to be critical of Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson because we'd lose a couple of games out of 40. But the reality is we'd always bounce back, and the players had proven time and time again how good they were. People often say, "Oh, imagine what the United stand would have been like in the Sir Alex days." Well, I remember my mood in those days, and I know my mood now. I would have been very, very positive in those days because we had a team of players that were proven winners and a manager that was a proven winner. And yeah, we'd lose some games, but you always knew we were going to bounce back. This last 6 years, they're proven losers. They are weak. You can't trust them, and they don't. To be honest, a lot of them don't deserve to wear the shirt. So why should I be positive about that? Why should I be positive about that? I mean, to be honest with you, I think a lot of them are pretenders. They shouldn't even be in the shirt. So I support the club. I support the shirt. I support Manchester United. I don't have to be positive about some of these players and some of these managers that we've had and the board and everybody else who've consistently made mistakes. I don't need to be positive about that. So I totally disagree with Patrice Evra when he says you've got to be positive. Why? It's not one-off though, Patrice, is it? This is 6 years of continued error and nothing's changing. Nothing's new. We haven't got a new director of football. We haven't got a new chief executive. It's the same people making the same decisions, putting new excuses out and asking us to back them again. No, walk the walk, don't talk the talk. Man United 89, Ollie confirms Dalot and Gomez are injured. There you go, I confirmed it about 10 minutes ago, so I was right. Ollie's saving Mata and Matic for Monday, says Samuel Heppenett. I think Matic is being kept back for Monday. I know you don't want to hear that, but I think Matic has been left out of the squad today for Monday. That is my firm belief. Yes, I do. Let's have a quick scan about here. Make sure you smash a like on the video, everyone. We like to get 1,000 likes before kickoff, so please do that. Trent is better at attacking, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka is better for defence, says Duas Thapper. I agree with you on that one. Really positive lineup, says Freddie Mercury. I like the lineup. I would like, I do. Would you swap Lindelof with Joe Gomez, says Mr. I do actually think Joe Gomez is better than Lindelof, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. Please, just another MK Dons here. Mason to score, says, please, just not another MK Dons. Dipanshu Kuma says, actually. Yeah, but we were away to MK Dons. We're at Old Trafford with a World Cup winner in our midfield, and Fred's a very good player. I think we'll be fine. I hope we're going to get a few goals. Dark Halls, why is Jones starting when he said sacked in the morning? Because why did Matic start the last 2 games when he was liking Instagram posts about Solskjaer not picking him? I don't know. Is it weak management? I don't know. On the other hand, you could say Phil Jones isn't captain and Twansibi is, and how embarrassing is that for Phil Jones to have his fellow centre-back playing as the captain, so when he's the more experienced player. Do you think Van der Sar will be a good fit for Director of Football, says Godson? Apparently we are not getting a Director of Football. If you listen to the comments yesterday, Manchester United are very, very unlikely to appoint a Director of Football at the club. So, read into that what you will like. It doesn't look like we're getting a Director of Football. So we've had a year of what effectively is bullshit, saying that we're going to get one, and we're not going to get one because if you listen to the comments that came out yesterday, Manchester United are very happy with the business they did in the summer, and they're getting it right now, apparently, even though they didn't buy any midfielders and any attackers. Drawty, can you hear me?
I can, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, good. I'm happy with that team. I think tonight's a gimme. I mean, you can't lose this game anyway, so I hope
you
go
can.
out. Well, you said to me this afternoon, I don't know whether you think we can lose it, but you're saying, what if we lose it? And I'm very confident that there's no chance of that happening.
They shouldn't lose. I mean, you look at Spurs last night. There was a Spurs fan in work this morning, and he was rather embarrassed about that one, even though it was only the Carabao. But I think, Ollie putting out Pogba. I know Pogba's been out for a while injured, but he's not going to be taking this too lightly, is he? At the end of the day, it's a trophy to win, but he still needs to be able to play the youth, and the Carabao Cup is a perfect opportunity. I don't see them causing too many problems, but famous last words.
Well, they got hammered by Peterborough a couple of games ago, 6-0. They are in the bottom half of League One. I don't even know if they're going to bring out their best team. It's not just exclusive to Premier League clubs now to play a weakened team in the Carabao Cup, is it? So I don't know. But having said that, I mean, look, we have got Greenwood and Chong playing. That is the confirmed team on the left for everybody. We have got Greenwood and Chong playing. They didn't set the world on fire against Astana, and I would say Rochdale and Astana probably quite similar.
Yeah, it's funny because people said, Astana are really, really terrible. We only beat them 1-0. Rochdale, are they about the same level as Astana? Probably. So I think it's good for Greenwood to be playing through the middle. I think he's probably going to get a good... I reckon he'll have a good performance. I reckon he might get 2 if he's on form. I'm kind of expecting Lingard to score, though, because I just think this is the kind of game where Lingard can do what he does best, and... I just think this is probably a good game for United at the moment, especially before Arsenal. A bit of a confidence booster.
Shivesh Singh says fans will be positive and won't get on Ollie's back if they see future with the team he picks, even if we lose games. Ex-players don't seem to get that. And Jordan Such says, Mark, with the league table as it is now, if Ollie loses his next 3 games against Arsenal, Newcastle and Liverpool, which is a possibility, that would put 8 points from 9 games. Would that change your mind about Ollie? I mean, I'll let Drawty answer that, because I can answer that very quickly and say, look, we know, even if we did have only let's say we draw with Newcastle, lose to Arsenal and Newcastle, which probably is more likely, really. And I don't think that's going to happen. But you'd have 9 points after 8 games, probably be in the relegation zone or thereabouts. But this board ain't going to get rid of him. So
I think it'll be a difficult one at the moment. The board have kind of made a rod for their own backs. They didn't give him enough over the summer. Yes, he's got rid of the deadwood, which is what everyone's been clamouring for. The fans have been desperate to get rid of a lot of those players. Sanchez, Lukaku, Darmian, there's been a lot of outs towards the end of the window. The only problem is we didn't really bring in any replacements, so the squad's been decimated. And now we're in a position where our lead striker at the moment is a 17-year-old, because Rashford, how long is he out for, do we know?
Well, Manchester United or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer seems to want to let the opposition at the weekend know in advance when he's missing 4 or 5 players. But we've heard nothing about Rashford. I mean, knowing Rashford, he'll probably get himself back for Monday, when actually I think it's better for everybody if he is out for a bit, even for himself, just to sort of take stock. And but no, I don't know. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, to be honest.
The thing is, I know you've said if results don't go against Ollie, will he get the sack? I kind of see where Rio was coming from. If you keep going with this sacking culture, where does it stop? Because at the moment, we know Ollie's got a decimated squad to work with. Is another manager coming in and working with that squad going to get more out of them?
Yes.
It's questionable. You don't know what goes on in the dressing room. You don't know the mentality of the players. You don't know if there's a few problems behind closed doors. It's all speculation at the end of the day. The fact of the matter is, when Ollie came in, we were playing really, really attacking football. The first 17 games, we won 14, drew 1, lost 1, which was incredible. And since then, it's gone completely the other way. So, yes, right now it's not going well. Do I think Ollie will face the sack before Christmas? I hope not. I hope he can genuinely turn it around. But only time's going to tell. I don't think Liverpool and Man City are going to be the type of games where United is suddenly going to turn it on and be amazing.
No,
I think we could get a draw out of those games. No, we're not good enough, but I still think we could grind out a draw if need be.
It is interesting. I mean, let me just read this super chat actually. Jermaine Ducray says this is the game for Fred to cement his place after back-to-back good performances. He has to make Ollie look like a right fool to not start him on Monday. I thought Fred had done enough against Leicester when he came on and Astana to start against West Ham. So I will hold my breath of what he's going to do against Arsenal. I don't think we'll learn anything from that today, to be honest with you. And Matt Ross says, Mark, although we are playing minnows, this could be a great opportunity to open Ollie's eyes. Thoughts? I don't know. As I said, I thought some players opened his eyes. I thought Dalot played really well against Astana as well and didn't even make the bench. So,
who's going to open his eyes? Because all these players have played under Ollie before. So it's not like, we're playing Garner or Brandon Williams. Chong needs to have a decent game tonight. I don't think he was amazing against Astana. Greenwood, I just think Greenwood playing through the middle is perfect for his confidence. And I'm really hoping he's going to grab a couple of goals tonight. So maybe that may change Ollie's idea of who he wants as a striker for the rest of the season. It's a lot to put on Greenwood's shoulders, but Rashford's not firing at the moment. So maybe if Greenwood can fire, maybe Rashford might be moved out over to the right and then Martial on the left. I don't know.
If anybody knows what Brandon Williams' squad number is, I haven't got a bloody clue. So if they could tell me, that would be superb. In the live comments, just a little bit of a shout out there because I'm just changing something for the subs bench. Joey Daniel says Liverpool was celebrating a 2-2 draw versus West Brom a year into Klopp's reign. How many of those players are still playing? We shouldn't be judging Ollie until our starting 11 has at least 7 or 8 of his players. I think you're stretching there, mate. Look, I've said... people like to look at history and paint it however they like because it happened in the past and people might not remember. Unfortunately, on the United stand, I've got a great memory. Jurgen Klopp's team did celebrate drawing with West Brom. You're right, they did. And everyone bantered them for it. But the truth is, Jurgen Klopp from day one played the way they're playing today. He might not have had the players, but he played the way he wanted to play. And it took time. And I think actually he came in around October and they still got to the Europa League final their first season. So they didn't. I think they finished about eighth in the league. But what people don't, when you start comparing, and the best one is, for me, is Sir Alex Ferguson in the 80s. Oh, it took him 4 years to win the title, or 5 years, and he finished mid-table 1 year. And I'm like, it was the 80s. It was the bloody 80s. The Premier League didn't even exist. If you had a foreigner in your team, you were frowned at. There wasn't many. It's a totally different game, totally different scenario. And United hadn't won the title for nearly 30 years. So, but the point remains in both scenarios. Sir Alex Ferguson came to Manchester United with a style of play, and Jurgen Klopp came to Liverpool with a style of play. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came to United with a style of play for 3 months that was brilliant and totally ripped it up and went, now I'm going to park the bus. I don't know. It's interesting. Let me just read these super chats as well. Mark, who do you think is the better player between Tielemans and Fred? Should we have signed him in the summer instead of prioritising Longstaff? That's from Nihal Raul Chabali. And Mark Palfrey says, I'm expecting we totally dominate this game compared to the last few games, possession plus clinical finish. I agree with you, Mark. I really, really do. Just to go back on that, though, obviously you will have seen, Draughty, the comments coming out of Woodward and everybody else. There is this perception that they think they had a really good summer. My frustration is you didn't, and we needed 2 midfielders, and the worst thing is I can name 3 midfielders that were available, of which Tielemans was one, and he went for 40 million. So it's always baffled me what we did this summer and how they think they did. It's like there's if you walk past Old Trafford, all you can hear is slapping, because they're all slapping each other on the back for a job well done in the summer. And everybody seems to not realise that this midfield is rubbish. I mean, tonight's midfield looks okay. It's playing Rochdale, and that could arguably be our best midfield 3. It still ain't good enough to get top 4.
No, but I think that is our best midfield 3 at the moment. It's quite an attacking midfield for what's been recent. And Fred and Pogba, they don't really like playing CDM. So I'm hoping Pogba is going to play a bit further up with Pereira, and Fred's going to have to sit back, because if Pogba's got to do a CDM role tonight, he's not going to be happy. But in terms of all the comments of Ed Woodward, let's face it, the guy doesn't know what he's doing. He knows from a financial perspective, he's really good at getting sponsorship deals, but when it comes down to actually dealing with the player signings and recruitment, I mean, his comments saying the last 10 years of, the stability is a good thing. Well, it's been 10 years of actually quite poor recruitment, so I don't see why you can celebrate about that. Even back in 2009, because if we're going back 10 years ago, Cristiano Ronaldo sold for 80 million. that summer he got in, was it Obertan, Valencia, and Michael Owen?
Mm-hmm.
So straight away, if you're saying look back 10 years, we've had stability, that was a bad summer. And since then, we've blown loads of money on players. It hasn't worked out. Most of the players who've come in post for Alex Ferguson have already gone, which just shows it's a constant rotation of players. And he's really, really bad at getting value for money when he's selling them as well. So everything he's brought in is delivered not much. And it's all dead money because he's actually making a loss on the players. So when you look at it, he spent 500 million probably net negative and got nothing for it. So therefore, that's just half a billion wasted. It blows the mind how this guy thinks it was a good summer.
It is interesting how I just want to read this actually. Let me read this to you because people may not be aware. I'm sure you've probably read it, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on this because I reacted to it and somebody said you should be very careful of that because if Patrice ever replies, everyone's going to be on his side. And I said, I don't care. I'm not bothered. I respect all our legends, but I don't respect what they talk about since they've retired. I think a lot of them are in the bloody cheerleading club. God knows what they've been promised by the club. But he said, this is what Evra said this afternoon. People are laughing at us because we hurt them so much in the past. Well, that's irrelevant, isn't it? But they're laughing. That's the bottom line. And if you don't support us when we struggle, you can't support us when we win. We need positive energy from all United fans. I know we all need to work together no matter which role you have for this club. Forever a Red. And that to me is basically saying you're not a proper supporter if you're not positive now and back in the club.
It's
which I totally disagree with. I don't care whether it's Patrice Evra or bloody Luke Chadwick. I totally disagree with it because surely the proper fans are the brave enough fans to stand up to the last what you've just said there and say, look, who are you kidding with your positive long-term plan? You're the same people. What have you actually changed? You're the same people who made all the decisions over the last 6 years, who had a crap transfer window a few weeks ago, and you're basically trying to sell beans to Jack again, aren't you? There's not going to be a beanstalk.
Yeah, but maybe Evra's been told to say something like that. You just don't know. From a PR perspective, they might have said, look, Patrice, you've got a really good sort of relationship with the fans. Do you mind tweeting this out? Something like that to try and keep them on side. We want a lot of positive energy around the club because it helps the players and the morale and stuff like that. And I can get that because at the end of the day, if the players, the fans are not on the players' backs and they're positive and they're like giving them encouragement, maybe the players will play a bit better. But it doesn't work like that.
Although, just to jump in a minute, the funny thing is, this is where Ollie's making a mistake because tonight, I can already see it in the live comments, I can feel it in my heart, I can hear it in your voice, and I'm sure it'll be the same in the ground. There's already positivity because he's made Twansibi captain, young player that we all like. He's got Fred in the pit team, Pogba's back, Chong's playing, Greenwood's playing. The positivity's there because he's picked the right team. And, the positivity wasn't there on Sunday because he picked the wrong team. So, actually, for all the club and Evra and everyone else trying to be cheerleaders, some of this is just self-imposed. You can easily get the fans on side by doing what you're meant to be doing, which they even said yesterday in the shareholders meeting. Youthful attacking football is what this club's all about. But we haven't seen that. And if we do see it, I know the results might not be great, but they will then get the positive energy and the patience because we'll see what they're trying to do.
Yeah, but I kind of see... let's take it for an example. Arsenal Fan TV, many times it's been labelled at them for being very toxic. And the Arsenal fan base can be very toxic and volatile at times. Mm-hmm. And I kind of see, if Evra's coming out saying we need positive energy, I kind of see what he's trying to say. He's trying to say not everything's doom and gloom. There's a lot of people out there who go absolutely mental. And some of the things they come out with is baffling. So... I don't think there's anything wrong with being negative in terms of not being happy with the results or how the style of play is, because at the end of the day, football right now, it's a sport, but it's still something where people buy into it. People spend a lot of money watching it. And if you're not happy with a product, yes, you should say something.
Yeah.
So it's the trouble is he's kind of contradicting himself by saying, you can't be negative about it. You always have to be positive energy stuff. Well, people are paying good money to watch that. And if they're not happy with what they're seeing, they are allowed to say. So
the thing is, Well, I think where Evra's going wrong here, and he was a good player, but I always go back to Roy Keane's the greatest captain we've had in my lifetime. Probably one of the most negative personalities we've ever had at the club, and it certainly did us the world of good. He used to come out when we get knocked out. It's not good enough for a club like us. The prawn sandwich brigade. I mean, basically, if you didn't grow up with Roy Keane, every time you listen to me, you're basically listening to a B-Tech version, because I was brought up on Roy Keane. And Roy Keane, I love it when people call me a moaner, because if you lived through Roy Keane, he basically spent his whole career moaning. That's not good enough, you're shit, we should be spending more money. He used to come out all the time and say this. Like, you wouldn't believe it. People think that the modern day is better than the previous day. But Roy Keane, we'd get knocked out of the Champions League.
Changed. Mark, society's changed. There's snowflakes everywhere. You can't say things these days because people get offended about everything and anything. So, and football's no different. You know, the personalities in the sport have changed. If Roy Keane goes into a dressing room now and starts shouting at people, swearing at them, saying you're no good, you're shit, whatever, you know, they're probably go into their shell and probably won't play very well. Whereas back in those days, when, you know, arguably they say inverted commas, men were men, it's no longer like that anymore. You know, they're all wrapped up in cotton wool. They've got their management, they've got their agents, they've got everything behind them to protect them. They've got all this money. So shouting at them, they're not used to that. The culture's changed. So if you've got someone like Keane who comes in, who was 15 years ago, it's not going to have the same effect. I think the whole mentality of football has changed. Not necessarily for the better, but
I think it's very hard though, isn't it? I mean, you know, we're very different, and you know, I look, I can't wait for the evening with Ryan Giggs, because one of the questions I want to ask him is, was he aware of how much stick he used to get at Old Trafford? And younger fans won't believe this, but when I used to go to Old Trafford in like the early noughties, and Giggs was probably still at about 35, but no, he was in his 30s, considering he played forever, he used to get a lot of stick from the crowd. Even though he was a legend and everyone loved him, he did used to hang on to the ball a bit, try stupid little flicks, and he'd get a lot of stick from the crowd. People wouldn't believe that, but that's football. This is why I get irritated by people saying, oh, you've got to be positive. And I think you're right. I think a lot of the players these days are weak-minded in relation to criticism. But you said it yourself, it's an entertainment industry, and if you don't, you know, if a stand-up comedian tells a bad joke, he'll get booed. If you put a bad performance in a film, you'll get replaced. And footballers are, because of this, they live in bubble wrap. And I think United have got too many players like that. I mean, I almost feel that Rashford and Lingard are suffering with that at the moment.
Yeah, the trouble is the club let them get away with it. And to be honest with you, it's not on the players. It's down to their management as to how they control it. At the end of the day, they've got social media teams. They've got lots of people around them telling them how to act, what to say, do this, that, and the other. You know, their lives are very micromanaged down to how they train, where they eat. Everything about their lives is basically controlled. So when you start having someone coming in and maybe shouting at them and you know, telling them this, that, and the other, change tactics here, the trouble is at the moment, I think there's not been any stability for the last couple of years. So these players have played in so many systems, so many different ways of playing, so many different tactics, you know, coaches preferring some players over others. They don't really know where they lie. And Ollie's only been in the job since, December last year. And at the moment, he's only got 3 players in, which he wanted over the summer. And all 3 have been brilliant, by the way.
Yeah.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka, fantastic. Harry Maguire is exactly who we needed. And Daniel James has been an absolute bargain. So he hasn't had fully the amount of time he needs with these players to have an identity yet. And let's not forget, and I'm not comparing him to Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson's a genius. You know, there's not many managers who come even close to him. But when it comes down to how the club play, you know, it's always been fast wing play. It's always been attack. That's Manchester United's philosophy. At the moment, he doesn't have the team to do that. If we start going out attack, that midfield, like you said before, is so decimated. We haven't got the creativity to do that. And it looks like our strikers are shot of confidence as well. So I think Ollie's kind of struggling with the squad he's got, along with everything that's been going on behind the scenes. And it's a really difficult task. So there's massive frustration there. I get that. I've spoken to a couple of my mates, you know, I've even spoken to Zara and people up in Manchester, and they're like, we can see what he's trying to do. It's just really frustrating. It's not working at the moment, but maybe it will click. I just think people are too reactionary, and instantly it's like Ollie out, it's crap football. It's been crap football for 6 years, so just give the guy a little bit of time.
Zane Miassi, thanks for the contribution. He hasn't opened his mouth yet. He just made a contribution. That was refreshing. Pete Halsey says, Mark, mate, we're not entitled to anything. Everything has to be earned. We can't afford to change management every year. I'm gutted by a predicament, but what can we do? Fair comments there. What I would say about that is, and it sort of goes back to what somebody said before about if we were to lose to Liverpool and Arsenal and maybe get a point at Newcastle, we'd be on 9 points after 8 games. I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you're bloody Bobby Charlton back in charge of the club. It doesn't really matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your legend status is. If United are in the bottom half of the table, there's a decision to be made, because you can. What people don't want to talk about here is, because we all love Ollie, and I'm not Ollie out. It makes me laugh that people think that I am, because I've consistently said that I'm not, and I was one of the last people to be Mourinho out. And you lot were going mad at me quite rightly, and I didn't go Mourinho out till quite late. So I'm not Ollie out. I am concerned. I'll openly admit that. But what nobody wants to talk about is, if the talk is brilliant. I love all the talk. I love the vision. I love this strategy. I love what we're apparently going to do. But football is littered with people with great ideas who fail. And what people don't want to say, Dorothy, to be fair, is what if for all the great ideas he's got, he just isn't good enough? And nobody can, Ollie in, Ollie out. None of us know the answer to that, and that's the problem. We could never start to come back. Really, we could. He's not going to lose every game. I think that's ridiculous. But and we will have a little bit of a couple of results, and I can tell you what's going to happen anyway. We will have a good couple of results at some point, and people will be like, "Oh yeah, we're back." It's whether he can build on that again, or whether we drop down again, and nobody knows the answer as to whether he is going to be good enough. There is no evidence out there that he will be.
The funny thing in football, the thing is with management, sometimes you get the perfect storm or the perfect manager with the right set of players. Sometimes you get the perfect manager with the wrong set of players, or the right set of players with the wrong manager. At the moment, we just don't know. I think a lot of people think our players don't try hard enough. Some of them are a little bit clueless. Some of them are inexperienced. Some of them are considered dead wood still. Ollie's come over from Mulder. Everyone would say, that league is nothing. Winning it over there it means nothing. It doesn't prove he's a top manager. It's a difficult one to say, because it's
still coaching.
Still coaching, and you're still getting the best out of your players. And I think some of it is transferable. But
actually, just to jump on that, just because I totally agree with that, actually, because whether he's managing Norway or whether he's managing the Premier League, I've done coaching for under 8s. I've done it for men's football. I do it for United Stand FC. Coaching's coaching, and your opposition is either worse than you, better than you, or the same. You're still competitive, and you've still got to be motivator, and you've still got to have tactics. So I think it's wrong to dismiss what he's done at Mulder, although obviously the Premier League is a different ballgame.
Thing is with Mulder, I mean, I don't think they won a league in a very long time, or they hadn't won it before.
Yeah, they're underdogs.
Yeah, and he came back and he did something special over there, which was massive for that club. It's not the same as Sir Alex breaking the old firm and going up to Scotland and getting it with Aberdeen, which was still incredible. But I think with Ollie, every time you get a new manager, you change the philosophy, you change the way they train, you change all the communication, blah, 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 blah. Fans have been begging for a manager who gets Manchester United for so long since Sir Alex went. And now Ollie's in. He's a club legend. He scored the winner in the Champions League final. He's got managerial experience. Cardiff was the wrong move for him. It was a lose-lose situation. You can't prove anything.
It was a hard job.
Cardiff. Yeah, Cardiff was almost like, it doesn't matter who you send in there. You haven't got the money. You haven't got the resources. You're not going to do very well. So he understands Manchester United. He gets it. He says all the right things. I think sometimes he's just covering for the players, and he's probably reading in the riot act in the dressing room. Because Ollie was known as the babyface assassin. He's not a pushover. He's not a crybaby. He's not everything's sunshine and rainbows. I don't think he's ever been like that. They've said he is ruthless, but I think he's playing the smart game, because he knows if you go in like Jose and you start slating everyone and everything is bad, it goes sour very quickly. He's doing what Sir Alex did. Sir Alex didn't really publicly go and chastise everyone. He did it in the dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a difficult one to say, and I don't think it's a case of just chopping and changing managers all the time. Okay, if results go really, really crap for a number of time, or we're down the bottom end of the league, then yes, there probably is a decision to be made. But right now, no, I think it's too reactionary. And I
oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think anybody who says Ollie out now, it's way too early. I mean, Lee Halliwell says, I'm seriously worried with Jones in the defence. This should be an easy night, but it's also a night for Jones to make a fool of himself and the club. That reminds me, actually, we'll just have a quick change of scenery and have a look at the layout here. As you can see, Romero, Jones, Twansebi, Wan-Bissaka and Rojo. Wan-Bissaka probably wouldn't have played tonight, but Delo is carrying a knock, so Wan-Bissaka's got to play. Pogba, Pereira and Fred, Chong, Greenwood and Lingard. An exciting team for a Carabao Cup night, and I think, to be honest with you, I'm probably more excited about this than I was about West Ham. And then on the bench you've got Grant, Lindelof, Williams, Garner, Mata, McTominay and James. So to be honest with you, I mean, that United's problem is always the bench, isn't it? If you get an exciting lineup, you don't get an exciting bench, and if you don't get an exciting lineup, you get an exciting bench. We haven't got enough. We can't moan about the squad and then expect to have an exciting lineup and an exciting bench. We're not at that point yet. But I would like to see Garner getting a bit of time, and I would like to see Williams getting on a bit. But it is a good United lineup. Jordan Such says, Mark, those 3 months that were fantastic was really down to Ollie coming in, or more to do with Jose being sacked, because let's be honest, regardless of who came in, there was going to be a feel-good factor after Jose went. Well, you spoke about that, to be fair, Jordan, didn't you? You just spoke about that. The reality is, we talk about the board, we talk about whether Ollie is the right man or not, but one thing that, again, we sort of we forget, and I forget, is that after that Cardiff game at the end of last season, everyone was saying sell the whole team. Sell the whole team, they're not good enough, they've let us down, they can't be trusted. And to be honest with you, apart from those 3 signings, which have been very good, and we needed probably 3 more, we definitely needed midfielders, we've still got a lot of these players that, actually, I think for the first time in a long time, the players aren't getting any blame, are they? It's the manager got the blame at the weekend, I think quite rightly because of his tactics. The board get the blame quite rightly because of what they've done over the last 6 years. But the players are sort of getting away with it, even though we know under the last 3 managers, some of these players have been here for 3 managers, some of them for 2. They're a bunch of untrustworthy bottlers as well. And it doesn't matter who the coach is if the players aren't good enough.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like when Ollie went on that amazing run when he came in, it was Ollie's tactics are spot on. He's playing the Man United way. He's got the players playing for the badge. He's got this, that and the other. And then when the results go badly, the tactics are all crap. Then, he's completely changed his style of play, blah, 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 blah. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. But at the end of the day, he also has Mike Phelan next to him, which a lot of people need to realise. Phelan was instrumental with Sir Alex as well, and he's got a lot of experience there too. So the two of them together know what it is that needs to happen. Now, it's whether the players are just not translating that to the pitch at the moment, or they're devoid of confidence because there's been so much chopping and changing. It really is a hard one to gauge. So right now, from where the first 17 games were, where it was all sunshine and rainbows and everything was fantastic and we were scoring loads of goals and Pogba was on fire and Jesse scored 4 goals and 2 assists over December, and everyone thought everything was amazing again, and then it suddenly dropped off. I know you get the new manager bounce, but you don't get a bounce that good, which either means the players were just completely downing tools under Jose and then decided to pick it up and then have downed tools again, or it's just not working with that bunch of players and this manager at the moment, or they're not listening. It could be, it's a whole multitude of things, and I just think sometimes you need to see things play out. Yes, it's a bit banterful at the moment. Yes, his tactics were probably wrong at the weekend, but when he gets it right, then he should also get the plaudits for getting the tactics.
And to be honest with you,
start to the season.
I think you're right as well there, because it's very early in the season. I think it's way too early to be Ollie out. But the reality is, in November, if we are in the bottom half of the table, you can't say the reality is, if we're in the bottom half of the table in November, we're in trouble, because the season starts to take place then, and you very rarely get a team who's down in the bottom half in November who ends up being in a top 4 race in March. It tends to be, football's a psychological game, and if you're in the bottom half of the table in November, Mourinho won the title with Chelsea, he was sacked 4 months later as champions because they're in the bottom half of the table. So and everyone expected Mourinho to get them out of that, but he couldn't. He couldn't, very good at champions, he couldn't get them out of it. So if United were in the bottom half of the table in November, that's probably when you need to start worrying, because that might be the trend may well be set. But I also do agree that the players are the problem, and I agree. I think that somebody said it in the live comments there. I think that first 3 months after Mourinho, the players had to prove themselves, because if they continued to play badly, then everyone would have said, well, it wasn't Mourinho, it's the players. So that I think the players went from second gear to fifth gear, and then suddenly we beat everybody, didn't we? And then after 3 months of it, it's almost like, well, we've proved ourselves now. Let's go back down to third, and lo and behold, the results go. There's loads and loads of theories, but I just want to answer this comment here. Jake Selesky says, Mark, do you think all the negativity around the club helps or hurts fan channels like yours and the other Manchester United fan channels? I can tell you for a fact, and we always talk about this a lot, me and Draughty, the United stand does far better when there's positivity. We've never had so many views and subscribers when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in, or when we won the Europa League. It might be very different for someone like AFTV, but for the United stand, we know the stats, we know the analytics, and this channel does grow more when there's positivity, and everybody's happy. So I hope everyone is happy about that, because that's what we want. I want positivity, and actually it's borne out factually that we do grow more when there's that as well.
I think, positivity is what everyone wants anyway. No one wants to keep losing. No one wants to keep seeing the team doing badly and constantly getting bantered by other clubs because, the results are embarrassing. But I think at the moment, it's just, let's be fair. At the moment, we're nowhere near going near relegation. I think people thinking we're going to be, bottom half, we're going to be in the bottom three. This squad, I know it's not brilliant right now, but it's not like a Brighton or Huddersfield last season. It's not like that. It's not like we haven't got quality there. It's not got at the top end. It's not like a Liverpool or a Man City, or arguably on their day Spurs. But then Spurs are struggling at the moment. They've had a couple of bad results, and because they're not as big as Man United, it doesn't make the news as much as Man United. So. And Arsenal, Arsenal sort of, they can be really good 1 minute and then they're rubbish the next, and then they tend to flip-flop between their results, and then there's always a lot of negativity around Arsenal because it seems to sell and everyone wants to watch, the fan channels go mental. But, and people seem, everyone seems to think that whenever Man United have a bad result, your reaction and how you, because I know you and I know what you're like anyway, you always make jokes about things anyway. That's just the way you are. And people think it's all for, gaining subs and all that kind of stuff. No, that's just, genuinely people, that's just Mark. Or, your real name, which I always call you anyway, but we don't do that on here. That's who you are. And that's you being genuine to who you are. And you're no different to me on the phone as you are on the United stand. And you genuinely care about the club. And when it's positive, you can see that you're really positive about it and happy about it. It's just at the moment, we're nowhere near 1974 when the club got relegated. It's not that bad. The players are not as bad as that. I know a lot of people say it's really boring to watch and you don't know what it was like, and then the 80s weren't great under Ron Atkinson when they won 2 FA Cups. But at the moment, I just think, see how the results go. If they start going tits up, then fair enough. But right now, we're only 6 games in. And if we win against Arsenal, all of a sudden it's, oh yeah, it's great, we've beaten Arsenal, the banter, we can banter AFT or whatever. But I think tonight, just have a good game, just see if Greenwood can get a couple of goals and take it from there.
I do think tonight is a freebie for United to get a bit of positivity.
It's a free hit.
Yeah. Buster Nut says the board need to start hiring people with experience. Past legends has not worked and is not working. I back Ollie, but I don't see him in our future. Interesting. And Dazo W says if Ollie plays 2 CDMs, Mata and Matic against Arsenal, then I'm done with Ollie and his tactics. And Matt Ross says relishing seeing Mason down the middle tonight, has to prove his best finisher qualities. Well, somebody said that very early on, and I know you've got to get off, Draughty, because we're getting close to kick-off, but somebody said very early on what's to come out of this game. I think that is all I really want. If Mason Greenwood scores a couple of goals tonight, then that's the story of the night, isn't it? He scored 2 goals in a Manchester United shirt, in a first-team game, confidence, tick, box, gone. That's it. He got 1 last week against Astana, he scores again tonight. That's the big thing to come out of tonight for me. And also, I know this is the modern football fan for you. I think a lot of people have written off to Heath John because he had a bad game against Astana, but he's a young kid. He might have a stormer tonight.
He's not even 20 yet.
Yeah.
It's not like he's had loads of games at the top level. He hasn't had that many chances. And you look at all the players down the years, not necessarily your Messi, Ronaldo, your Wayne Rooney's, whatever. It's those players who are really good top level players, maybe not the world class, but just the top level ones. They don't always start out firing. You're going to have bad games as a young kid. And those going, I've seen enough of Chong versus Astana to know he's not very good. It's like, hold on. He's not had that many chances. It's going to take a while for him to... It's a different team. He's been playing with the under-23s, the under-20s, the under-21s. Those are different players to this current crop. So again, yes, they've been together in training, but in terms of actual match experience at the top level and playing with this set of players, he hasn't had that. So
he's a good player. He's
already,
potentially a very, very good player.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's going to make it, but he has... you can't write him off after one game at all.
No.
Vin Burrow says, I feel like what if we're waiting for Ollie's first 3 months like we're waiting for that 2 months Lingard was good? fair point, actually. I've never heard it put like that way. Look, the reality is we can all speculate, we can all predict, but the reality is we are going to find out, aren't we? We will find out. Results are either going to be good, we're either going to get progress, or we're not. And but tonight's probably not going to be a night where we learn anything other than maybe, Fred might have a good game, but it is Rochdale. I think realistically tonight is the only people who can come out of this game with glory is people like Greenwood and Chong, because they're playing in a first team game against professional footballers, whereas you would expect the likes of Fred and Pogba and Lingard to put on a good performance. They're internationals.
I actually expect Pogba to score tonight. I fancy him to get a goal. And I think that would do in the world of good before Arsenal. And I expect maybe Lingard to get on the score sheet. So for me, I'd be happy with 3-0, Pogba, Lingard and Greenwood to get on the score sheet. And that for me would just be a job well done. And then you can't really have any complaints. So
Chelsea are 2-0 up already. I don't know who they're playing. Probably playing a load of kids again as well.
Yeah, probably. But that's well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But what do you reckon the score will be?
I'm actually going to go. Well, I don't think United score many more than 3 goals hardly ever anyway, so it's idiotic to say 4-0. It should be 4 or 5-0, but I'm going to go 3-0.
Okay.
You?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go with 3-0 because I just think, United have got too much at the end of the day, and I don't think it's going to be one of those MK Dons nights, hopefully, famous last words, but where United are right now when we are playing the youth, and they're going to be up for it because they'll know they've got a big chance to prove themselves. So I'm expecting not an amazing game, I'm just expecting a functional winning game.
Okay, well, sorry, I've just knocked your audio off there. Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate that. I'm sure you're going to want to pop and have a bit of dinner now, but we are only about 5 minutes away from kickoff, so appreciate that. Flew by, and really good chats. Get good conversation, which is what it's all about.
Well, it's normally like our 2-hour conversations on the Sunday morning, so
yeah.
It's fine. So
with a bit more exclusivity in that about who's an Obed, and yeah. So we won't do that live on air.
Yeah. Let's not maybe disclose some of the things in there. Cool.
All right, mate. I'll speak to you in a bit. Thanks for coming on.
Speak to you later, dude. Hope the United win. So good.
Cheers, mate. And you can follow the Draughty Devil on Twitter. He does tweet a lot. He's called @theDraughtyDevil on Twitter, so give him a follow. Okay, a lot of people are asking how everyone's going to watch it. Of course, it's not on in the UK. That's a sign of the times. That is a sign of the times, isn't it? We don't talk about that enough. United already this season, I can think, is this the 3rd or 4th game that's not been on the TV, and we're only in September? There was a time when every game pretty much was on TV, and there's a lot of games this season we're not on the TV in the UK. So I've got my earpiece in. I'll be muting my desktop audio from now on because I'm going to have the radio on through my desktop. If you want to listen to it on the radio, I think it's available on Manchester United's app. It's also on BBC Radio Manchester as well, and probably a few outlets there, so you can get it on radio. So we will have it second for second what's going on. I know a lot of people will be watching streams, etc., which sometimes can be as much as 3 3 weeks behind real time. I joke, but sometimes some of those streams can be 2 or 3 minutes behind. So we will be updating you on the second when the goals are going into the back of the net. Mark, will Pogba play in a deep line role, mitigating his chances of getting into good attacking positions? Says Gold Piece. I mean, why would Pogba or Fred or Pereira play in a deep line role against Rochdale? I mean, I think people are... Why would we play anybody deep? It's going to be Rochdale trying to hit us on the break, I think, today. And Extol86 says, remove the music when you switch to the overview. We want to hear you, not the music. Love you, Mark. No, we're not going to remove the music. We like the music. So there you go. And Australians can watch it, Americans can watch it. Yes, you can. Welcome to Kuratani 10, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Yes, if you want to become a member, you can click the join button. You get a little badge next to your name when you put your comments on there, and you get access to our emojis as well. I like the music, says Rani Khan. Please do smash a like on the video, actually, everybody. Please do that. And subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We have got fan cams later. Rance is at the game with Flex today, so he'll be doing a fan cam as well. He wasn't there at the weekend, so interested to see what he's got to say after the game. And yeah, loads of stuff going on the channel. Fantastic community, as you can see in the live comments. And hopefully we're going to get a good game from Manchester United tonight. A couple of people are asking actually about the start about the bench. We can go there with the music for you. So that's how we're lining up, we suspect. Fred and Pogba with Pereira probably playing a little bit more advanced. Lingard, I think, will be off the right with Chong off the left and Greenwood through the middle. But the bench, you've got Grant on the bench, Lindelof, Williams, Garner, Mata, McTominay and James. And I really... Look, Manchester United are not going to need saviours from the bench in this game. I mean, and they haven't really got any saviours on the bench. If Pogba can't do it, you don't need bloody Mata. So I don't really see the point in Mata coming on, or even a McTominay, or even a James. I think this surely is the opportunity for Garner to come on and have a little bit of game time, to be honest. So yeah, let's look at. I mean, look. You know what? There's loads of people watching. Let's just chill out, watch a bit of Manchester United, talk about Manchester United, and have your opinion on how the game's going to go. I think that's the way we're going to do it, isn't it? And why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we do it that way? So we are about 3 minutes away from kick-off. Lingard won't play right wing, says Robert Hart. All right, who are you? All right, Ollie, you bloody know it all. And Ollie's going to get sacked in the morning, says Chimpu Chim. Absolutely no chance. And Red Baron says, Mark, if they don't give us the option to purchase the game pay-per-view style, we will just pirate the games. There you go. To be honest, I've been on about this for a long time. I tweeted it this morning. I said, it amazes me in the modern day that you cannot buy a TV season ticket for your club and happily pay to watch your club play every game on TV. There are TV cameras at every bloody game Manchester United play. Why, when there's apparently billions of United fans worldwide, you can't watch it because they don't put it on the telly? It is silly. It really is silly, and it amazes me in this day where there's so much modern stuff that you cannot pay to do that. It's really silly, but it's been this way for a long time. So yes, let's. We're getting a little bit close to kick-off anyway, so I just need to get my make sure I've got everything ready and get my app working as well, so that we can hear for kick-off. Let's mute you and let's come back to you on the live comments. We've got a comment here from Upbeat Sarcastic. He says, big night for Lingard tonight, expecting a very good performance from him. If not, sell him in January. And welcome to Vin Burra, the latest member of the Manchester United, the United Stand fan channel. Yes, I think that with regards to Lingard, if he can't, if he plays well tonight, does that mean he's back? No, it doesn't mean he's back at all. It means nothing of the sort. It means that he's had a good game against the team he should be having a good game against. So that's what we're looking at. Right. Um, 1-0 to Rochdale. Pereira now playing in his right position. Let's see what he can do. Memories from Pink Boots. Pogba's new hair. Twansebi captain. The scenes if Pogba scores. Cool story. Greetings from Holland. Twansebi again. If Ollie loses his way, this one he will be sacked, says 85. And 2-1 to Rochdale. Is the game being televised? Mark, says Fraser. Not as far as I know. Not in the UK. It isn't, no. And what are your views on Norwich? Scenes. A lot of people talking about it. Right, let me get this right for when we kick off. I've got so many apps open. Oh, I can't believe this. I've just started it, and on the BBC Radio Manchester app, and it's now saying we can't play it, which is ridiculous. Why? Why can't you bloody play it? Right. So for the first few minutes, I'm bound by you. So let's just start the clock for a start off, and what a bloody joke! Like, I'm baffled by that. I've got myself set up, and I can't bloody listen to the game. Madness. Looking forward to a smiling Rojo again, and hopefully subbed for Williams at some point, says Philip Cronstead. And 1-0 to Rochdale. What a prat. Okay, I need to try and sort this out now while we're live. Great. I love living in the UK. You know, I've got everything bloody set up to listen to it, and then it suddenly, it won't let me listen. Right. Knobheads. Absolute knobheads. Really are. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. Anyone else know what other radio stations it's on? I can listen to it on. That would be appreciated. Give me a minute. TalkSport 2 apparently. I don't know, because I like to listen to it because then I'm bang on for the time. So that's why I like to listen to it. MUTV is quite nice. Hello?
I sent you a link on WhatsApp.
Okay, I'll have a look now, mate. All right. Cheers, pal. Okay, I've got it now. No worries. Solskjaer is a disgrace. Pereira is on the right again, says Abdullah Abukab. So yeah, Pereira's playing off the right. Lingard's playing down the middle. And let me just get this sorted here. Got it. Thanks to Drawty there. We're up and running. It's not 1-0 to Rochdale. We're back in business, everybody. Wan-Bissaka's playing because Adil Patel told because Delo's injured. A bit of a slow start from Manchester United so far, lingering in possession. If Greenwood scores a hattie, should and will Ollie start him in the weekend, says Steve Wynyard. A lot of it depends on if Rashford is fit. Bit of a sloppy start from Manchester United. I tell you what, that I did that on purpose on my phone to tell you how close live we are. Like literally, there is about a 3-second gap between us. Oh, crazy, isn't it? I watched a little bit of the rugby. There's no need, Smutty. Fake scores can be timed out, but the reason I did that is because, as you heard there, you're literally getting me about 2 or 3 seconds behind real time. So when I say it's 0-0, 1, 2, 3, you know it's 0-0. When I say it's 1-0, you know it's 1-0. So fake scores ain't going to work on this stream, brother. Could see Rochdale getting a result today, I'm afraid, Mark, but stay positive as Everest says. I love this game. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We're up and running. I've got it in the ear, and Rochdale have started off really well. Manchester United looking sloppy, and this is always the concern, isn't it? What if Manchester United, it is a problem with the players, and it's not a problem with Ollie. They're just not good enough. You know what I mean? You do know what I mean. Who's captain? Axel Twansabi. That's a positive as far as I'm concerned. Twansabi captain. Rashford's out for 2 weeks as HYS football. I don't know whether that's confirmed or not. So Rashford will be back after the international break, effectively, won't he? It's on Live Extra if people want to listen to it, Tom. It was on BBC Radio Manchester, but for some reason. I'm enjoying FIFA Jonathan Carlin at the moment, so quite an equal game at the moment. Manchester United not actually having their way as much as some people might have thought, but it's certainly interesting that it's not been the quick, fast start many people thought from Manchester United, really struggling to impose themselves on the game. A lot of defensive work for Manchester United. Transabi with a good tackle there. Rochdale were in a good position. We've already got a podcast, Jason Miller. The link is in the video description. We do a podcast every week now. God, it's what a pain. Radio 5 Alive Extra if you want to listen to it anyway. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Bit concerned about Chong and Greenwood's strength. They seem to get pushed off the ball too easily. Hopefully they'll fill out a bit. It says upbeat, sarcastic. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think Manchester United do struggle with, well, certainly Chong and Greenwood and Gomez are all going to struggle with that physicality. No, MUTV don't show the coverage in the UK. We haven't got coverage in the UK, which is why earpiece. What minute and second are everybody on? Because I'm not sure my time is right. I'm right in the ear, but I don't know whether I'm right. So if somebody who's actually watching it could tell me what the minute is, if you're in America or something. I've got 9:40, but I can't on the radio. They haven't updated the time yet. .40, so I'm probably a little bit ahead on there. Yeah, 10 minutes. I'm about right, don't worry. Well, Rochdale, I tell you what, anybody who's not watching it, Rochdale or listening to it as well, Rochdale are giving as good as they've got. They're up for it. And this is, I think Rochdale are probably a better team than Astana. Greenwood a little bit wasteful there, losing the ball. Will Martial be back for the Arsenal game? Do you know, says Jordan Such? I think he will be 100%, yeah. But Rochdale knocking the ball around confidently at Old Trafford at the moment. They ain't giving up. They got beat 6-0 by Peterborough the other day. I've just had a message from Xander, who used to do That's Football with me. I forgot I got him 2 tickets for the game today. He just sent me a nice DM saying, just rolled into my DMs to say thank you. Pereira's in. Ugh. So there's no obvious gap in class as yet from Manchester United, but hopefully that will start to materialise at some point. What are you thinking, everybody in the live comments? We have got a lot of people who aren't watching or listening to this today, so let us know what you're thinking. Hey Mark, check out our new tune, Circles. Spend another day going round in circles again. Bit of an anthem for the situation we're currently in, says Koyu. Koyo. There you go. Pogba. Lethargic, says Jamal Hussein. Where is Delo, says Jonathan. Prince, he's injured, mate. Oh dear. Away from Jones. Good tackle by Pereira. Jones losing a bit of the ball there. It's a bit end-to-end this, you know. As I said, Rochdale giving as much as they're getting. But yeah, Greenwood's physicality is a little bit of an issue, you know. They're just talking about that as well, saying that not really been able to get into the game. And this is the thing about saying that youth players are ready when maybe they're not ready, because they're probably not ready, to be honest with you. Why is a 12-year-old girl playing for Rochdale, says Vinborough. I don't know what he's on about, but I'm sure somebody does. 13 minutes gone. Alvin Block says to Duran, his name is Rio and he's on United stand. That's very good, Alvin Blocks. You deserve comment of the night there. He was on the United stand at the weekend, Rio. We've asked him to come back on radio silence because he knows what's going to happen. He'll get asked different questions. Greenwood's through. Well, Greenwood was in. Greenwood was in there, but to be honest with you, they're making a lot more of it. It wasn't like he was running through one-on-one. He was down the side of the stadium. And Pogba from the edge of the box, way over the bar. So Greenwood was fed in down the left-hand side. Not a great bit of touch, defensive cover, but United maintaining the attack. Comes to Pogba on the edge of the box, and he blasts it over. So, you know. Welcome to Maden Unut GS Go, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And how good have United been, says Gozo. They're starting to edge it a little bit now, but by no means are they the dominating force. We're in a mess, says Manungu Tilmu Michello. I think that, you know what though, my patience in a game like this, and I don't know how you lot feel. I've got a lot more patience in a game like this than I would have at the weekend, because I totally know that Chong and Greenwood might take 10 first team games to start to get used to the physicality. Swap Lingard for Rochdale 12-year-old girl winger, says P. Yakov. I'm intrigued by what you mean by this 12-year-old girl. Are they small or something? Gomez is injured. Hamza. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We've got fan cams, etc. Really, that'll be interesting after the game, especially if we don't win. It's not on TV in the UK, Jimmy Butler, and this is why I'm listening on the radio. Villa are winning 2-0, if anyone's interested in that. There's a young player playing for Rochdale. He's just done his A-levels. Says, who said that? I'll give you a shout out. That's JB Music. And United have gone from being the most entertaining club in the land to being the most boring. I will follow them until I forget what football is. But oh my God, says Alex Billing. Rochdale just whipped a cross in there and comfortable for Romero. Vinbira says their right back hasn't gone through puberty yet. Matheson, says Vinbira. Let's have a quick look at the starting 11 for you. For those who aren't aware who's on the bench, so I can stretch my legs. Grant, Lindelof, Williams, Garner, Mata, McTominay and James. Welcome to Theelon Moodley, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Please do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. United on the attack at the moment with Pogba. Mubarak says it's boring. I don't think it... You know what? I think it's very easy to be negative about United at the moment, because actually this is more entertaining. There's a lot more. You can hear the crowd. You can hear what's going on. And it is more end-to-end for both teams than we've seen in the Premier League for a long time. So maybe the solution is Manchester United should play in League 2, League 1. Pereira's going to shoot. Blocked. Fred shoots. Blocked. Lots of shots. I don't know why people are saying it's boring. Pereira's just had a shot straight at the keeper as well. There's a lot. There's a good pace to it. Radio 5 Live Extra if you want to get it on the radio. Solskjaer's eyes are glazing over, says Kathy. How is that not a handball, says Faris? I think that was from the Fred shot. They're saying there might have been a handball on that, but it would have been outside the box, and it is a blatant handball, what they're saying. Time is spot on, apparently. Good. I wonder what our situation would be if we kept Giggs as manager, says Old Trafford for life. He only had 3 games, didn't he? Didn't Giggs do it after Moyes? Yeah. A lot of energy from Manchester United in the last few minutes, starting to step it up a gear. Should have been a handball, says Kispoto. Rochdale on the attack. United have got plenty of men back though. Gomez injured. He's not in the team today. There is, Rochdale are in the game though. You got to say that. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. And predicted final score, Seth. I went with 3-0. Anyone know what the attendance is tonight as well? Anybody who's got it on the TV, can you see? Have they shown the crowd enough? Mark, you missed my first super chat, says Morgan. 28140. Sorry about that, Morgan. It's probably when I was trying to sort out the bloody radio thing. And Adam Morris says, hi, Mark. If this goes to penalties and Jones takes one and misses, will it get the yellow boots, Mark, as score prediction? That's from Adam Morris. Yes, it's the yellow boots. Imagine that. That was about a year ago when the pink boots thing started, isn't it? Twan captain's very interesting. A lot of empty seats, Marks, as David Moore. Look, at the end of the day, it's a Wednesday night Carabao Cup game against Rochdale for a poor United side, and yet we've got 60,000 people, 50,000 people. It just shows you what Manchester United can do. If this was Man City, they'd probably get 10 people watching, even though they're one of the best teams in the world. Red Jedi says Lingard and Pereira look shocking. Well, the flip side of that coin is they're key members of the squad and they need to play games, doesn't they? Sahil Ibrahim says, Mark, you're behind ESPN. You can watch on ESPN Plus. No, I can't because I'm not in America. And why does Lingard look like he's out of it already? Says Just Kicks 707. Lingard is an unbelievably confusing person. Attendance is 50k, says Quebeco Jr. Entertaining game though. United need to go and play in League 2. I tell you what though, there's Rochdale definitely not put off or scared about coming to Old Trafford, knocking the ball about, enjoying themselves. Finn Birra says, need to bring back Fergie rule of no flashy boots till young players have actually done something. We need some discipline back. Just it's interesting, isn't it? You know what? I'm going to apologise here. I think we all, or some of us don't, some of us are actually respectful, but we talk about Rochdale like I did on the preview. Absolutely crap. They got beat by Peterborough 6-0. They're having a bad season. They're in the bottom half of League One. We're going to absolutely annihilate them. And then you forget that they're actually quite well played professional footballers, even in League One. They're not just having a few pints every day and then just turning up to play at the weekend. They actually do train and kick a ball about, and they're giving a good account of themselves. So there we go. I think Rochdale are better than Astana anyway. Please subscribe if you're new. I can tell you the live subscriber count, which won't update these days, is actually 550,900. So we only need 100,000 more to 100 to get more 100 more to get to 551,000. So please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner, and I'll give you another subscriber count update in a few minutes. Hey Mark, if you want to watch the game down, no, I'm not going to read that out. Our entire right side is missing this game, says WH13. This is why Wan-Bissaka gets tired. He does the work of two people. Still plenty of time left in this half before we're 0-0 at half time. As an Arsenal fan who is aware that Lingard hasn't scored, I know where you're going, in half a year, I'm prepared for him to score a brace against us on Monday, says Jordan Sido. If Lingard scores a brace on Monday, all is forgiven. You know, we need a result on Monday. Amar Schwan says, Mark, have you heard about Dembele to United? No. Is it a joke? Is it a joke? Like, is there a line to finish that joke off? Mark, is a League Cup win something that would James Drew? Look, Rochdale. Corner for Rochdale. Who is United's best player so far, says Jordan Such. Answers on a postcard with that one. I mean, I'll let the live comments say that. I would say probably Twan Sebi. Score prediction for Monday, says Mr. Bob. Oh, God, let's get through tonight first. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. Rochdale have got a corner here. Rojo got rid of it. United on the break. Oh, Lingard's missed a bloody sitter there. Counter-attack by United, really exciting. Chong gets it into Lingard and he heads it straight at the keeper. I think he's got to score that for 100k. Liverpool are winning at MK Dons. Now, I'm not talking about the Rojo shot from miles out, because they're just talking about that there. I'm talking about the cross that came into Lingard that he headed into the ground from about 6 yards out. So everyone who's saying it was Rojo, I'm talking about the cross into Lingard on the break. Rojo started the break. It wasn't Rojo on the end of the break. And Rojo shot, your lot are talking about. Joel Morris, Mark Burton Albion are winning 1-0 against Bournemouth. There we go. Look, a lot of people are saying it was Rojo on the header. Well, obviously I'm listening to the radio, so if it was Rojo, it was Rojo. He did well to bloody get on the end of his own clearance, though. Rojo's just won a corner here. Well, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's because you get all the crowd noise and the entertainment on the radio, but I'm actually quite engaged with this more than I normally would be. And to be honest with you, I think compared to West Ham, we've probably had more shots in this game than we've had all season, haven't we? So United have got a corner here with Pereira. Rojo's getting on the end of everything at the moment. Just headed wide from the corner. Fred's man of the match till now, says Strutson. Yeah, let us know in the live comments. And Lingard and Pereira are just not better than this. How can you ask them to improve their game? Bloody Rochdale is playing better than those for 30 minutes, says iPatch. I don't know. I'd say United have had more shots than Rochdale, haven't they? Let's be honest. I think there's negativity for negativity's sake a little bit. You know, we have got some young lads playing today, and you've got to have a little bit of patience with that. Arthur L, don't invade my live comments with crap comments like that, which I'm not going to read out so people won't know what you said. I didn't watch the Arsenal game yesterday, Harvey Jones. I don't know whether you're getting at something there with that, but no, I didn't watch it. Andreas on corners, says Sander Herrera. Well, that was an interesting one, isn't it? Not rocket science. Get bloody for Pereira on corners and Rojo heads just wide. I'm going to tweet that, actually. Pogba's been a little bit quiet, hasn't he? But, you know, it's difficult, isn't it? Is he playing a more withdrawn role with Fred, playing a deeper role against... Pogba's just put a cross into the box, that, you know, one of those ones that nobody touches and it's sort of curling towards the back post. And it was quite close. There was no player near it, but he might have just gone indirect from the cross, as Lemogi says. We're going out, says Carito Janga. No, I don't think Rochdale haven't really had any chances, have they? Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Let me see how many subscribers we've got, actually, while we're waiting. Bottom right-hand corner, subscribe. Live every night at 8 o'clock. Fan cams after the game. Rants and Flex are at the games. I'll be interested to see what Rants has got to say tonight, actually. Previews. We're doing a few videos with AFTV actually over the next few days as well for the Arsenal game, so looking forward to those as well. Phil Jones. Phil bloody Jones. United on the attack at the moment. Lingard. Ooh. Lingard just had a shot blocked. But Rochdale on the break. I don't think Rochdale have got a lot of pace on the break. Haaland is the perfect replacement for Lukaku, says Ilvin Johan. This Haaland player who's just gone to... Has he gone to Salzburg? Like, why are people going on about him? He's gone from the Norwegian league to play for Salzburg, and he's scoring a few goals for Salzburg, and suddenly everyone thinks he can play up front for United. It's sensationalism, and also, why would United be in for him just because Ollie used to manage him? It's just desperation, isn't it? When's your next That's Football watch along, says Alak Jakalaya. I think I'm going to do Sheffield United Liverpool on Saturday lunchtime. Can't believe Rojo has been our best attacker so far, says Alpha Music. He has been. Rochdale have got a corner, but a cross into the box, but it's cleared. Reactionary fans, Mark, says KA, yeah. Pogba's just played a good ball out to Greenwood. But two, it's not. We can't get there. It's actually pronounced Haaland. If someone's trying to correct me, don't tell me how to say Haaland, because I remember what his dad was playing, Alf Inge Haaland. Balu makes a good point. I don't really understand what style of play we're playing. I mean, to be honest with you, would I be wrong in saying, and obviously those people who are, you know, more engaged in Greenwood, they've got rid of it. It actually does look like United are playing a 4-2-3-1, doesn't it? Pogba and Fred are playing quite deep, which I think is unforgivable. He still doesn't want to go back to this 4-1. Fred's just had a shot into Chong. Chong shoots, cleared by Rochdale. Mark, are United second in X Points League? Arsenal 14th, says Lieben Vachkov. And Mark, do you prefer Liam or Noel Gallagher, says Alalek Jackie? I prefer Liam. Oh, Pogba should have scored over the crossbar. Greenwood put it on a plate. Absolute sitter by Pogba. He's got to score on his head, level with the 6-yard box. Lovely cross in by Greenwood. Would have been an assist for the kid. It's not all about scoring goals. Should be 1-0 to United. United are all over Rochdale at the moment. Pogba terrible miss, says Sean Finity. I mean, look, Pogba's just got into the box there. We've seen a lot of shots from Fred, but what's your thoughts on the formation? Because it sounds like it's Manchester United playing a flat back four with two midfielders, Pogba and Fred. Lingard ahead of them, Pereira to the right, Chong to the left, and Greenwood. Lots of interchangeability, and there is a licence for Pogba and Fred to get forward. But the bottom line is, we are playing sort of Pogba and Fred are playing together quite deep. And I think against a team like Aku54231's just subscribed. Cheers, mate. I still think playing a 4-2-3-1 against Rochdale at home is too deep. It's too deep. They are playing a 4-2-3-1, says Sampei. Thank you. I like the t-shirt. US or UK office, says Alvin Johan. Rochdale are in a chance here. The loads of space down the left-hand side for the 16-year-old girl, which is what everyone's saying. And United are on the attack again now. But a bit of a chance for Rochdale there, but United back on the attack. Haaland is fast, has height, and rude escape goal, says Strutson. Well, I think he needs to play it. His next move needs to be a big club. Pogba's just had a shot just over the bar. Good defending from Chong, says Joel Miranda, when Rochdale broke there. Do you think Ole is doing a midfield press, says Thilosen 100. Look, tactically, Pogba, Fred, Lingard, they should be having big performances tonight. They should be having big performances because they're playing bloody Rochdale. So they should be having a big performance tonight. That wouldn't surprise me. But I'm just wondering whether we should just play one centre defensive midfielder and push Pogba further forward with Lingard. But we're nearly at half time. Just going to take you to the watch along subs bench. Grant, Lindelof, Williams, Garner, Mata, McTominay and James. That lineup's wrong, by the way. Lingard's not playing on the right. Pereira's playing on the right with Lingard through the middle. Again, I just think it's a waste of time putting Pereira out on the right-hand side. And McNally 145 says that Lingard has been invisible. I'm actually quite enjoying this, getting a bit of atmosphere in the ear. I don't normally get to hear the crowd noise. No high pressure or quick speed of play that we saw during pre-season. What exactly is the game plan, says Denzel Zilwa. Get Chong some steroids, says Alex R7. But that's the thing with Greenwood and Chong. I mean, Greenwood's 17. I remember what I was like at 17. I was a streak of piss. I'm not much better now. So Greenwood's age is on his side, but it's against him, if you know what I mean. He's got to bulk out, and he will bulk out. Same with Chong. When they bulk out a little bit, they're probably going to be better players. But at the moment, patience is required, isn't it? Is Lingard even playing? A few people have said he's the invisible man. Top Moment says Chong is a joke. You're a joke. You're a joke. You're not really. I'm not going to be horrible to you. But seriously, though, let's not attack young players. Like, why are you saying Chong's a joke? He's a youth player who's just starting his career. You can't do that to young players. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting to start doing that. Your expectations are way too high. Way too high. You know, way too high. Way too high. He might never be good enough, but don't bloody make your mind up on him after a couple of games. This game, if I know football like I think I do, this... Oh, Greenwood's through one-on-one and it's a save by the keeper. Well, no, it wasn't one-on-one. There was a recovery tackle coming in. It was from the edge of the box when he shot it and the keeper makes a save. Gets it on target. Gets his shot off from the edge of the box. To be honest, to finish from the edge of the box from there, I don't think he could have done better. I think Greenwood does everything he can do there. Shoots on target. Keeper makes a good save. I think it would. It's not the sitter that Pogba missed. I'd put Chong out on loan as well. Inderit Chirara, yeah. Jack Spate says Fred's a disgrace. Don't know what that's all about. Another corner coming in from Andres Pereira here. Seriously, what does Lingard even do, says Don Islands. Well, Lingard has been invisible, and Lingard should be, he's 27. I don't know. I actually feel sorry for Jesse Lingard at this stage. I just think what has gone wrong with him? He's just absolutely gone. And the people who say he's lacking in confidence, don't give me that. You've seen what he's like with his links, adverts and everything. He's a confident kid. Well, he's not even a kid, is he? He's 27. Chong's putting in a lot of defensive work actually, because that right back for Rochdale is doing well. We've got a few infiltrators from rival clubs laughing that it's 0-0. Greenwood in the box. Well, I think Chong and Greenwood are growing into this game. I do. I think, people expect instant gratification. It's not you porn. It's going to take a little bit of time. Why is Gomez not playing? Hope your day's been good, says Callum Sangster. He's injured, mate, and so is Delo. I think both of those players would have played tonight, but both are injured. And but 0-0 at half-time would be a good result for them. Their 16-year-old girl is owning our 28-year-old kid, says Matt Fellows. I don't actually think, to be fair, they're playing anywhere near each other, are they? I think the 16-year-old's playing up against Chong. Should play 2-7-2 like Motta. Anything's better, says Alex Billing. I think we should go 2 up front. Chong's going to get a bit of abuse. He's getting a bit of abuse. Well, you know what? It's a battling performance from Rochdale, but I don't think they've got much of a goal threat. So I think, much like the Astana game, if United can just get a goal, again, it's all about the early goal, isn't it? Wan-Bissaka crosses it in. Glancing header from Jesse Lingard. First arrival. Actually would have been a good goal. Certainly wasn't the same as the Pogba one by the sounds of it. But Wan-Bissaka with the cross, and Wan-Bissaka can put a decent cross in. That would have been a good goal by Lingard. Charlie says, disgusting performance from United. There haven't been many stoppages, has there? It's been quite a fast-paced game. So it's going to be another 0-0 at half-time. United, isn't it? I wonder how many 0-0s at half-time. I'd love somebody to send me an email about that. How many United 0-0s have we had at Old Trafford in the last 6 years? We used to have loads under Van Gaal and Mourinho. So I bet we've had a few. And out of how many games, what's the percentage? And then what's the percentage of 0-0s for someone like Man City in the last 6 years? I mean, it's a horrible stat to go and do. But you know what? You could do it as a school project. Say Goldbridge said to do it. But we'd be very interested on the United stand to know the percentage of games we've been 0-0 with at half-time. Wouldn't we? We would. We would. I would. Anyway, I'd be very interested. David Deeney says, I think we need to lower our expectations as United fans for now. These are tough times. I don't know what to think anymore. No, don't lower your expectations. Higher, raise your expectations and look up the board and demand more. Oh, God, I'm not accepting this. Manchester United, the biggest club, one of the biggest clubs in the world. This is a bloody disgrace. You know, the whole, not just tonight, not tonight. I mean, the general picture. Rojo just had a low shot and it's gone wide. Alligator. I think Marcus Rojo's had more shots in that half than United have had in their whole history since Sir Alex Ferguson left. Alligator says, how long before Mata comes on? You know it's coming. Yeah. Chuck, you'll go to experience, won't he, to save his... And actually, Alligator, that's sort of the problem with Manchester United at the moment. It's 0-0 at half-time. But that is sort of the problem with Manchester United at the moment, isn't it? Instead of just trusting in whatever the vision is, he'll go to experience. But selling my shares in Chong on Football Index, he looks trash, says Texas C. And Rochdale is 17th in League 2. Yes, they are. And I don't know whether Rochdale are actually resting players like some people do in the Carabao Cup. But it's 0-0 at half-time for Manchester United. What are we thinking about at half-time? Let me take my earpiece out for a little bit, actually. Let me just turn that down. It's annoying. Where am I looking at? There we go. Right, let's come to the live comments. What are your thoughts, everybody? Chong is very average. Look, can I just say straight away, in relation to Chong and Greenwood, however angry you are, can I just say that they are young lads and they've not even played 5 first-team games for United yet, started. So some players take a long time to come good. Some take a few games. Some never come good. But to actually start slating a player after 2 games, I think is unfair. I mean, It's Bless says Chong's overrated. What do you mean he's overrated? Like, based on what? Like, he's a hyped up youth player, but until he's played a few games in the first team, we don't know. And maybe he won't be good enough. But you know what? Maybe he'll have a couple of bad games and then suddenly he'll figure it all out and start playing brilliantly. Because it's about consistency. Chong needs a loan, says Elliot Y. Pereira is average, and I hate to say it, says James XX97. To be honest with you, I think if you're feeling a little bit angry at half-time, that's where you need to focus your attention. The fact that this is a League One opposition and people are talking about Chong and a little bit about Greenwood, reality is You should be talking about the World Cup winners. You should be talking about the players that are into their 20s. You should be talking about the Brazilian international. You should be talking about Pereira. You should be talking about Jesse Lingard, who's 27 and all right, he nearly scored a header at the end, but has been invisible in that game. Like, that's realistically where your focus should be. I mean, talking about Chong and Greenwood, of course, everyone's going to have an opinion, but they're young kids, forging their careers, and who knows where they're going to go. But the reality is, you're playing Rochdale, who are bottom half of League One. You've got Jesse Lingard, who pretty much plays for England all the time. You've got Paul Pogba, who plays for France. You've got Fred, who was a Brazilian international and has played Champions League football. You've got Pereira, who's played La Liga and everything like that. And they're not able to grab hold of a game against opposition like that. I mean, I think Pogba and Fred have done okay, but Pereira and Lingard, you'd be expecting a lot more from those two players. And I don't think it's lack of effort. I just think at the moment it's lack of ability. And unlike Greenwood and unlike Chong, they haven't got the excuse of just coming into the games for the first time, still very young. They've been around for a few years now, and not enough. Not enough. And, Lingard sympathisers will say, well, he nearly scored a great header at the end of that half. But is that enough from a 27-year-old senior pro in the team? He's got to be getting on the ball. He's got to be dictating. He's got to be leading. And he's just an invisible man, There's not enough. Not enough. How can you defend Chong tripping over his own feet, says Texas C? Simply because he's a young lad. I don't want to destroy a lad's... maybe he's not going to be good enough. I'm not saying he is, but I just don't see slagging off a young player. Since when did we become that club? I don't remember young players coming into the team and after a game and a half getting called a load of shit. That's something I don't like in the modern day, to be honest with you. I've never known that. I've never known a young teenager come into the United team and after a game and a half be called a load of shit. I think that's really wrong. I'm sorry. I really do. And maybe he won't be a United player, but come on. There's a big difference between somebody who's been crap in a United shirt and who's on 100 grand a week and has been here for years, and a young lad who's trying to forge his career that may not be at this club, but he goes on social media and sees you lot calling him a load of shit. I just think that's a bit wrong, really. He's only a young player. Only chances we created are from long shots and crosses into players who are poor in the air. Serious creative issues in the squad. You know what, RV777? You're spot on. Nail on the head. We should have a little award for you. You're spot on. When do Manchester United carve teams open in the box and get shots on goal? We don't. Like you say, it's always a long shot or a whipped-in cross that somebody chucks their head at, but they're not that good in the air. You look at Man City and Liverpool, the amount of chances they get in the box with their feet. Lee Galdart says, worst 45 in a United shirt for Wan-Bissaka. Pogba looks like he's been out 6 months. Sorry, Mark, but Chong nowhere near good enough. Leaves the ball behind when running. And George Ramos says, we may have been the biggest clubs in the world in the past, but right now we are not a big club anymore. You need to accept it. United are done, Mark. George, when did I not accept that? Do you not watch my videos? When have I said that United aren't done? That 16-year-old is holding his own against our 19-year-old, says Miguel Gasay. Can I just say, I think Chong should be doing better. But I would leave it at that. I wouldn't start calling him a load of shit or anything like that because he's a young player. Of course he should be doing better. If I was marking him out of 10, I'd probably give him a 4. But, I'd leave it at that. I don't think going in on young players is a really good idea. I just think just go, he's not playing well. But it's up to you what you do. Bust the nut. We just cannot create anything. Bad season ahead, Mark. As for Chong, their right back has his number. You can see in Gomez and Greenwood that the levels they can go. And Alligator says, I watched Pereira when he was on loan in Spain and I know we are playing him out of position, but he has totally lost his touch and passing. Shocking. I'll tell you what though, to be fair to Andreas Pereira, he's not a bloody winger. So when you play him out on the wing and he's got no speed, he's a midfielder. In the midfield, speed doesn't really matter in the midfield because it's so congested. It's all about your touch, it's all about your tackling, which Pereira's not too bad at either. But out on the wing where there's more space, he's not a winger. He hasn't got a skill, he hasn't got a trick, and he hasn't got any pace. Alex Billing says, don't blame the kids. We have a very limited squad with very few options. Blame the board. Exactly. And what the fuck United have done? What a disgrace to hear it from you, to be honest, says Freddie Mercury. I don't know what you're on about, Freddie Mercury. Some weird comments tonight. I don't know what people are on about. 16 shots, 3 on target, says Thomas Morgan. And Ollie out of ideas, Mark, says Andy Gatti. I mean, one thing you could just say about Chong, that just came into my head there is, if you think Chong's not good enough, then surely you need to flip that round onto Ollie and the board anyway, because all we heard all summer is, we're really happy with the young players that we got. We didn't need to buy a winger. We didn't need to buy midfielders. We're really happy with what they've got. And if they're not good enough, then surely that's bad judgment on the coaching. If Chong's not good enough or Greenwood's not ready yet, then we've been lied to again, haven't we? Or the judgment of people like Ollie and the coaching staff is really, really off. Because if you believe they're nowhere near good enough, well, this is what we went with instead of signing players. So, it doesn't look good, does it? Don't know what it's like, but I like Rojo, says Texas G. The thing about Rojo, he always gives his all. And I think with Rojo, if he was playing League One football, he'd be the best player in the league. He loves playing football. He always gives his all. Just in the Premier League, I think he's not good enough. Is it me or is Greenwood quite slow? Matter slow, says Darian Jones. No, he's not matter slow. He's just not like Rashford or Martial. He's not amazingly fast. Twisted8725 lost faith in Ollie when he agreed with Scholes' comments about writing us off for 4 to 2 years. Comments like that breed contempt and complacency through the squad. He was publicly stunt signing that got lucky. And since Fergie left, we've had 14 0-0 draws at home, says Upbeat Sarcastic. But how many have we had where it's been 0-0 at half time? And Arsenal kids are miles above this lot, says James Breen. And KB Sutton 3 says 13 shots, 3 on target, not our typical 0-0 with no chances. Young players are fine. Andreas awful on the wing, touches left him, Lingard anonymous in the middle. I like that comment because it's a little bit more of a positive spin on it. And Brandon B says, why aren't players checking to the ball? It is like they pass the ball and run away. Fred and Pogba do not have options to go except to each other. Well observed. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We're getting close to 551,000 subscribers, so please do subscribe if you are new. Fergus United beat Crawley 1-0. Stop crying, Mark, says Kieran Alder. I'll tell you what, people are having a pop at me tonight like I'm collectively taking on everybody's opinion. I'm actually quite chilled. Jabbar Hawar says Fred has been absolutely awful, Marky. And get Garner on. Lingard time to leave. Totally disinterested. No room for this type of player, says Matt Rush. And Joe and Daniel says zero creativity overall. We're restricted to long shots and half crosses. Chong looks uncomfortable on the left. Hope he switched to the right. Well, to be honest with you, Joe and Daniel, that's a very good point. Chong's better position is playing off the right hand side. Mark, your team formation looks better than what Ollie's playing. Can he not play players in their correct positions, says Davin Moodley. I tell you what, I do want to just say that as well. And I just want to make sure that I don't miss the start to the half. I do want to just say that as well, that with regards to the formation, I think most people would agree with me on this one. We're playing 4-2-3-1. We're playing 4-2-3-1 at home. Pogba and Fred are playing as two holding midfielders. They're getting forward a lot, but ultimately we're still playing the 4-2-3-1. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when he came into the club and we won for 3 months, played a 4-1-2 or a 4-3-3 but with one holding midfielder. We're now playing with 2. Why does he do that? Why is he doing that? Pogba should be playing further forward. Fred could play the holding role on his own. You could have Pogba and Lingard as 2 midfielders. Playing bloody Rochdale. But we're doing it all season. We're playing with 2 midfielders in the midfield. 2 CDMs effectively. You don't need to do that. It's too defensive. Depend Baswaz says, was Lingard even playing? Play Pogba in the hole and Garner behind him. And Udit Betnaga says, our so-called first team midfielders are crap. They don't create. Lingard can't touch a ball. I feel so sad for Greenwood running for long balls. Fitness Unscripted, Sharath Kamath says, I don't care what people say. A well-coached team will include Fred. So many players are wasted at our club. We don't have a set playing pattern. And to be honest with you, I saw a lot of that in the live comments in the first half. What is our style of play? What is our philosophy? That team is an exciting team to watch tonight. I don't think anybody can doubt that, even though they're probably not happy with some of the performances. It's a more exciting team to watch than it was against West Ham. But again, what's the philosophy? Is it a high press? Is it so can hit the break? Is it getting down the flanks? Is it playing through the middle? I don't know. Our score sheets read like binary code, all 1s and 0s, says Mark Atherton. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. I'm just going to give you a subscriber update, actually. We are currently on... we've gone past 551,000 subscribers, which is great. So please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner and get involved with the channel. Right, let's have a look at our latest comments. I don't understand why Ollie doesn't have the common sense to put Andreas on corners instead of Young, says Dan Smith. Well, he's done it tonight, but when Young plays, he doesn't. which is a little bit confusing, to be honest with you. And we've got saving Mata and Magic Matic for Monday, says Greg Mickafor. As an Arsenal fan, you think you can win against us, says Taib Mohammed. Look, Taib, I've said all along, I think United won't lose to Arsenal. And I know it's not logical. I respect any Arsenal fan, Liverpool fan, City fan, United fan who thinks we're going to get beat on Monday. But the same thing happened last season. You came to Old Trafford, we had Mourinho in charge, we were absolutely shit. I think it happened in November or December, just before he was sacked. And you drew 2-2. Arsenal don't travel well. And one thing about this set of players at United is they can raise their game every now and again, and I think they'll raise the game and they'll get a point. I think it'll be a draw. We might even win, but I still don't think that will solve the problems. I don't think it means we're back. We'll probably then go and lose to Newcastle, but I don't think we'll lose to Arsenal, no matter how bad we are. Thing is, with Ollie, he hasn't stuck to his philosophy from last season, says Reece Gregory, which has confused the players, and the players look confused in the games. I think the disappointing thing, Reece, and everybody as well, is that we heard that we were going to, I even said it, when he's got a summer to actually work with these players, then, we're going to, the fitness levels will go up. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen any more energy or drive than we saw at the end of last season. It's the same lethargic stuff. Thanks for the contribution, Al Wilson and Uwolo. And how is our 100 million world-class player tonight, says Mark Palfrey. I think you're talking about Pogba. Fitness and Scripted Charath Kamas says Phil Jones is wearing yellow boots just in case we go to penalties. I'm sure Jonah will take a penalty. Hope the stars read difference this time. I can't do that again. He wears yellow boots as a hazard warning. That's why he wears yellow boots. He's such a calamity accident waiting to happen. He's like one of those bloody don't slip signs. They're yellow, aren't they? It's all about, he's health and safety conscious. Does it not show how poor our attacking players such as Rashford, Lingard are when a 15 million championship player is our best attacker? No disrespect to James, says Ray Lynch. Brandon says, do you think Ollie plays 2 CDMs because he doesn't trust only one to do the job? Not enough quality there? Probably, which goes back to what we've all said, the midfield isn't good enough. And Shivesh Singh says, if with the midfield of Pogba, Fred and Pereira we can't create clear-cut chances against Rochdale, then it definitely the tactics. 2 CDMs here is pathetic. Yeah, but we're not actually playing that midfield 3, to be fair. It's Lingard. I'm just waiting for kick-off and they'll start the clock. Williams is coming on for United, says Alio. Well, maybe he's trying to save himself through youth, Ollie, which is probably a good tactic. So Jones has probably gone off with an injury. Shout out to my dad, Gary Mark. He likes your shows, says that happy guy. Hello, Gary. I'm glad you enjoy the shows. Jones is off then. Yeah, Phil Jones injured. What a surprise. Not kicked off yet. United players are out, but Rochdale players aren't. I mean, this is why Phil Jones never should have been given a contract. Injured at half-time in a Carabao Cup game. We've not kicked off in the second half yet, but let me get the time up, ready for you. So we've got Williams, Antoine Sebi playing at centre-back. Is Williams like 18 as well, I think? So, well, we could have extra time again. That would be interesting, won't it? you what, though, I've got to be honest. I'm quite relaxed. I've quite enjoyed this tonight with all you lot, so I hope you are as well. Mark, I've been watching the show for over a year. I really enjoy the content and the community. Keep up the good work, says Simon Cliff. Thanks for the contribution, Simon. I'm enjoying the show tonight. I am enjoying it. I think it's because it's so unenjoyable supporting United at the moment that tonight was always a gimme, wasn't it? It was always a freebie. It was always an opportunity to see some of the young players and not necessarily have the pressure of Premier League points there. Anyway, we can still send Jones back to Blackburn, says Alligator. 5-year contract. We gave him a 5-year contract at Christmas, and his injury record is worse than a corpse. Like, you know, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. There's no extra time; it goes straight to penalties. Thanks everyone who's saying that. Good. No late night then. But yeah, it is ridiculous that we gave him a 5-year contract. I don't know what the lad's like. Maybe he's a really nice bloke. I'm sure he is. But as a footballer, he should never have been given a 5-year contract. Williams is a left back. Rojo and Twansibi a centre back, says Vin Barrow. Well, it'd be interesting to get a look at this Williams then, because we talk about needing a left back, and I'd much rather see him playing than Ashley Young, to be honest, if Shaw was injured. Greenwood is on, yes. Chong's gone to right wing, I think, second half as well, which is good to see. Score predictions, I still think United will get over the line. Maybe we won't get 3-0 now, but I can see us getting 1 or 2. I'm very interested to see the fan cams tonight, actually, because Rance wasn't at the West Ham game, but he's gone up with Flex tonight for this game. And it's a long drive up from London, and a lot of fans do it. But I know for a fact that Rance is very, very dubious about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's not Ole out, but he's very dubious about whether he's actually good enough. So be interesting to see what he says, because I don't think United are going to turn this around tactically. I still think we'll win, but Freddie Mercury says he loves me. Scared yet, says Scars me. No, I'm not scared tonight. I've got to be honest, I'm not scared tonight. I'm not. Need Dan James on the pitch, says Ali Akram. I mean, I don't want to depress people. Simeon Silent Warrior Calcut has made a contribution. Thank you. I don't want to depress people too much, but when I show you the bench here, what excites you about that bench? Who's the match winner on that bench, right? So look at the 11 on the pitch. Look at the bench, right? Who's the match winner? Dan James, who was playing for Swansea in the Championship last season. Very unfair. Maybe he is a match winner, but very unfair to say, oh, he's a big match winner off the bench in a Carabao Cup game. Then, on top of that, have a think about who we're missing. Who's not playing tonight? Who's not on the bench? It's only Martial and Rashford, really. That shows you the problems that this Manchester United squad have actually got. When you look at the bench and you look at that starting 11 and then you realise only Martial and Rashford are missing, what a shit squad we've got. And this is what I've been saying all along. And United can talk about as much future prospects as possible, but the reality is it's the worst squad we've ever had in the Premier League era. And they want to talk about, oh, what a great future we've got. It's scary, people. It's bloody scary. This is a Carabao Cup game against Rochdale. There's very little on the bench and there's very little not playing. It's scary. It's scary. Lingard had at least touches first half and he's in the number 10, says Dazu W. Yep, fair point. They've got no pace at all, Rochdale, on the break. They've hit a few balls on the break, but Twansebi's just eating ground up. Jones signing a 5-year deal with Manchester United kind of encapsulates what is wrong with this club, says Ben Matheson. Williams has just had a run down the left-hand side and overrun it into for a goal kick. But you know what? So what? Where's the timer gone, says Jordan Cowell, who needs to go to Specsavers. Udit but Naga says, criticising young players for the past result who haven't played most of the games is not justified. Players like Lingard, Jones, Matic, Rashford and Young do deserve it. I agree. Freddie Mercury says it's terrible how we can't break down teams like this. It's funny how Freddie Mercury, I always notice your comments. Maybe there's something to be said about what your username is on how my eye works towards it, because there is something subliminal about the way your eyes work, and I'm a big fan of Queen, and maybe when I see Freddie Mercury I think, oh, you know. So Pereira's playing off the left hand side now and Chong's playing on the right. Pereira's just hit a deflected shot and it's just gone just wide. Would have been a little bit lucky. It wasn't going in anyway. It was on target, but it didn't really have a lot of power. But the deflection beat the keeper. Gone for a corner, so Pereira will take the corner. Chelsea are 4-1 up. Liverpool are 2-0 up. Rochdale on the break here. Well, Rochdale have just missed an open goal virtually. I don't know who saves it on the lane. I think it might be Twansibi. They're into the box. They cut it back and it's Wan-Bissaka on the line who stops it on the line. Manchester United should be 1-0 down, and you've got to wonder what the bloody hell's going on at the club at the moment, because this sounds like an absolute sitter. He should score it. Wan-Bissaka stops it, but to be honest with you, he's just got to put his foot through it. He's literally in the 6-yard box. He's bloody 2 yards away from the goal central, and he just doesn't connect with it well enough, and Wan-Bissaka does well to clear it. Battlefield v Clips and Battle says, supporting Oxford today and agree that United are terrible and should be 2-0 up. And Wan-Bissaka's kept it out for a corner, but we should be 1-0 down. Absolute chance of the game falls to Rochdale, and Manchester United very, very, very lucky not to be 1-0 down. Wan-Bissaka off the line, but to be honest with you, if any United player had missed that, you'd be giving them absolute pouters. Simon Cliff, Mark Woodward has mismanaged 900 million over 6 years post-Fergie, and here is a question. How much of the club spent compensating 4 failed managers? Exactly. 20 million to Mourinho last year. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Flexes at the game, Lord Sanity. Greenwood just had a shot from outside the box again, and yeah, they're saying that United need to be attacking a lot quicker with the quality of players that they've got on the pitch. Oh, I think Rochdale have had the best chance of the game. Well, it's an interesting game. I think people are not enjoying it because of the context of it, of losing. Nick P says, Liverpool are playing youngsters surrounded by quality tonight. We have thrown youngsters in with what I can only describe as a bunch of fraudsters. Which is the problem with this squad anyway, Nick P. We said it at the end of the last season that we don't trust these players and we would like to sell all of them. And we haven't spent enough. We haven't bought any midfielders and any attackers. We bought a very good right back, a good centre back, and a good prospect winger. That's what we did in the summer, and the club think it's enough. It's nowhere near enough. Nowhere near enough. Why isn't Pereira in the middle and Lingard on the wing? Says Nicholas Hardy. United got a corner. Get Fellaini on. I'm glad we don't have that option, to be honest, but I bet some of you wish we did. Do you think Phil Jones got an injury at half time because he thought this is going to go 0-0 and I'm going to miss another penalty and I'm going to be another massive meme about yellow boots? Oh, I think we'll get over the line in this game. I think we'll get over the line. I think it's going to be another Astana, another 1-0. Welcome to Louis Sosa, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. So he is. And Mark loves Prodigy, says Superior number 1. I didn't mind Prodigy, but it's not really my sort of thing. Time for Twanseebe and Maguire, says Brian Caleb. Well, look, if you're captaining Manchester United at his age with so many experienced players on there, he's obviously thought highly of. He's a good player, isn't he? Fellaini loved taking balls on his chest, says Dan O'Keefe. Yeah, but where was the rest? On his face. And over the losing line. Thanks for the contribution, Zayn Miasi. He's been very quiet tonight. And you guys are so bad, says Yoni Seki. What do you want me to say? Do you want me to deny it? Pogba's getting absolutely swamped by Rochdale's midfield here. He's just giving a free kick away. Rank the youth in order of talent for top 6, says Kuntai Kinti. I think Greenwood's the most talented one. I think then it's Gomez. We haven't seen enough of Garner or anybody else, so you'd probably have to say Chong. I mean, do we still... I suppose in some ways you still count Twansebi as youth, don't you? And I mean, I think he's a fantastic player. What Twansebi needs more than anybody is game time, because it's harder to become an established centre-back than it is a striker, because one mistake and you look foolish, whereas a striker, you can miss a few chances as long as you score one. Build-up plays way too slow, I agree. Richard Sibran says if United lose this, Ollie should be sacked. He wouldn't be sacked if we lost this. This is ridiculous. Would wank out now, says Evan Reminal. Greenwood might be getting a yellow card here for a bit of a frustrated late tackle. Upbeat sarcastic says I have it on good authority that Jones scuffed his yellow boots and couldn't play on. What the actual frig is going on with this team? There was a comment coming in there that I feel I need to read, and it was from George Cullen, who says no excuse tonight, full of youth and pace, and we still play it without we have Mata and Matic. Ollie has no clue. I mean, that's an interesting thing, isn't it? Still no clue with the pace. It's the brand of football we're playing. I think people need to realise this. I'm very, very frustrated that United are not playing like they did in the first 3 months, where we played this 4-3-3 formation. Simon Cliff says, I'm loving the podcast. The fourth one is the best. Recommend them to the community. West Ham are losing 2-0 to Oxford. Yeah, do listen to the podcasts. I know YouTube is obviously something that you probably do on your phone or your laptop, but you can listen to a podcast at school, at work. Just put your pods in and listen. It's far better than... no, I'm not really joking, but do give it a listen. We don't know what to do with the ball in attack, says Bogdan Gavrila. There seems to be a total lack of, like you say, thought out attacks. Lingard's just shot wide. Dan James coming on for Chong. So he's subbing off Chong after an hour. And to be honest with you, you know what? With Chong going off, I think Ollie's just knocked his squad down a player. Because if you're taking Chong off after an hour against Rochdale, it basically shows that you don't think he's good enough. So our squad's just lost another player there, because Chong clearly can't. If he can't do it against Rochdale, he can't be trusted to do it against Rochdale. He ain't going to be doing it against bloody Arsenal or Newcastle or anyone like that, is he? So we've just lost another player there, because he, you know, even Ollie's just shown that he don't want to trust him. So Dan James is on now. You know, it's a big improvement. United in the final third is excruciating and predictable. Feels like trying to squeeze the last bit of toothpaste out of the tube, says Alligator. I'm very good at getting the last bit of toothpaste out of the tube, to be honest with you. I've got a way of doing it. You just have to roll it from the bottom. Never a problem. But I know what you mean. Lazy people squeeze all over the place. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We've got fan cams coming up after this. They're going to be very interesting, aren't they? And we've also got my match reaction. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got some videos coming up with AFTV as well for the Arsenal game. Rochdale. They're in our box at the moment, Rochdale. United will start to panic about that, though. That's my problem now. Can Dan James be the difference? This team is so damn slow building up on the attack, says Jay Powell. I mean, this is something that surprises me. Thanks for the contributions from Zayn Amiati. United are on the attack. Dan James. Greenwood with the shot. Keeper with the save. I mean, I must say about Greenwood, it's not a sitter, but Greenwood has had 3 shots on goal on this game and not scored any of them. And he's got to start scoring some of these chances. I mean, I would describe them all as half-ish chances. And he does get them on target, but for a great finisher, he's got to start finishing a little bit better. But then again, he's so young, you don't need to put any pressure on him. United in the final third is excruciating and predictable. Feels like, yeah, we've done that one. And Rothbone looks better than Lingard. How did he get released by United and not Lingard? And Mark, the footballing IQ of our squad is crap, says Kunta Kante. Where is Gomez, says Jason Harris. He's injured. You're starting to get a bit worried, everybody, now. You know, I've still got half an hour left, haven't we? 25 minutes. Mark, we have no plan in the final third. We are terrible. I wonder what we do in training, says Ben's Marty. I was going to say that. I said this, I think I said this under Mourinho, to be fair, so I'm going to repeat this because it's still happening now. You watch Liverpool, or you watch a Man City, or you even watch a Chelsea under Lampard, or even an Arsenal. What they do, when you think about Arsenal against Watford as a prime example, what they do is, if an opposition loses the ball in a dangerous position because of a bad pass or an interception, they bomb it quick. They exploit the mistake of the opposition and move the ball quickly so that the opposition can't get themselves set. And that's why they score a lot of goals. And they look like good goals because they break efficiently. United, for years, when we get the ball, if the opposition make a mistake, we'll take a touch and pass it sideways or forward. We always allow the opposition an opportunity to get back into position, which is why we don't score many goals, because we're not direct enough. And direct doesn't mean a long ball, but we're just not direct enough in the way that we play. Can't you get Simon P to ask Ollie what the fuck is happening, says Christopher Liu. Well, a lot of journalists don't want to do that, do they? Because they don't want to rock the boat. Cryptic Zed says, will Martial come back? You know, the scary thing is only Martial to come back. That's it. Martial to come back. The player that some fans think is lazy and inconsistent. I like Martial, but is he going to come back on his own and solve all these problems? Does Paul Pogba look like a player that's totally motivated to be here? You know, massive problems at United. Massive problems at United. And tell me something I didn't know already. I just think a few more United fans will have woken up tonight from all this positivity shit. Oh, you've got to be positive. You've got to be positive. That we need positivity. Show us some. Show us some. Radu Christensen says, name one team that won the UEFA Champions League in the last years playing 4-2-3-1. No one. Not since the 20th century came round, at least. And Anaban Pachahari says, this game is far better than the weekend game. Few encouraging signs. I'm enjoying this. Not so bad as some are making it out. Need Tony back for Arsenal. I think, Anaban, to be fair, I think you're right. It's a way more entertaining game. But I think a lot of fans are like, it's Rochdale. It's Rochdale, a bottom half League One side, are giving us a game of football at Old Trafford with most of our, what we would consider to be better players on the pitch. Greenwood might not be scoring, but he's proper striker. He gets his shots away on target. Rashford goes a whole game without getting a first shot on target, says Jermaine Decray. I think he's spot on there with Greenwood. You're right. The positive to take about Greenwood is he gets lots of chances and he tends to shoot on target as well. Jake says you were the one who asked us to be positive. I don't think I was. I don't think I did. I think you're mixing me up with Patrice Evra. Nash Chi says Lingard purposely avoids the ball. I mean, I'm writing notes out for the match reaction, but again, we saw this against West Ham. We saw it against Astana. We put so many crosses into the box. We've got nobody to get on the end of them. Like, why are we playing crosses into the box and we ain't got people in the box to get on the end of it? Chelsea are winning 5-1, probably with a load of youth. Well, they play youth in the first team. Crosser. Another good cross from Pereira, and Twansibi gets on the end of it. It doesn't go in, but remember Beppe and Oberton, hallucinating days, says Upbeat Sarcastic. Luke Shaw is still injured, says Alias. This is so sad to see, says Ken Craddock. How can the board make statements about rebuilding when they have done nothing to rebuild? I said this last night though, didn't I? The great thing about talking about a long-term strategy in a rebuild is you've got to see it. Yes! Yes! Manchester United have scored. It started from Williams. Williams on the break, finds Mason Greenwood, and Greenwood puts it back in the net just like he did against Astana. Happy days for Manchester United, and that is what I said about this game today. It's not been good from Manchester United. It's been a hard work. That started from Brandon Williams bursting forward from the left-back position. It got fed over to Greenwood, and as Greenwood's been doing all night, he shoots on target and he saves Manchester United from what has... I mean, Lingard's there. He's sticking his face in going, come on. You've done sod all, mate. You've been the invisible man. Stop trying to jump on another young player's glory. You've been shit, mate. You're a senior pro in this team and you've done sod all. Like, just... Don't be like, oh yeah, come on, let's get the game sorted now. You should be doing a lot better. But in fair play to Brandon Williams, fair play to Mason Greenwood, he gets his shots off, he gets his shots on target, and that was the one rhetoric I wanted to come out with from tonight was that Mason Greenwood scored again, because goals are confidence, and that's what it's all about. Greenwood started by Williams, says Zinvara. And we've had a super chat coming in from Ollie is nice but not a big coach. Can't draw big players, says Gerten Winelgan. Well, Manchester United are leading 1-0 and we can breathe a little bit more now. I don't think Rochdale could play till Christmas and not score, to be honest with you. So I think United are going to be home and hosed now. Probably not too convincing, but yet again the title will be all about Greenwood, won't it? And he's doing what Marcus Rashford can't, isn't he? Let's be honest with you. He's doing what Marcus Rashford fails to do in a Manchester United shirt week in, week out. Gets his shots off early, gets his shots on target, and Manchester United lead 1-0. Ollie's a genius, says Peter van der Schaans. I think in Mason Greenwood, we've got a player that really can, at 17 years of age, go on to be something amazing, and that's something that I really want to keep repeating. He's only 17. He saved us last week against Astana, and he's done it again tonight. He gets shots off. And Lingard got the assist. So, look, maybe he's setting himself up for Arsenal. Arsenal fans beware. Lingard has got his first assist in the last 10 years. No, he has had assists, but he's not had many assists or goals for a long time. So, about bloody time he started doing something. Timeless Solar says Lingard got the assist. So, yeah, mate. Yeah, let's all give Lingard a break because he got an assist in the Carabao Cup against Rochdale. Yeah, Lingard's back, isn't he? He's not an absolute waste of space for the last 8 months. All is forgiven. He has got to do that week in, week out for about 4 months to get any sort of respect back from United fans because he's been the invisible man for too long. But hopefully he's setting himself up for a big game against Arsenal because we need him. We need him. He's not going anywhere. We haven't got a very big squad. Lingard is back, says Manuel Nava. So what do we got? About 20 minutes to go. Brandon Williams has picked up a left back. He's just picked up a yellow card. But he basically made that goal. He burst through and basically started the attack on the sort of broke away when Rochdale thought they were going to get the ball. "16 years of age there, right back is, for Rochdale. Very impressive performance." This Arsenal game's massive though, isn't it? I mean, look, we were always going to win tonight. I think ultimately what I would say is that there's still 20 minutes to go. Maybe we will get 2, 3, 4. But ultimately, if we win this game 1-0 with Greenwood getting us out of jail again, how do you feel at full time? What do you feel about it? Because I sort of have a theory, which I'll talk about in my match reaction, and I don't know whether it's going to please a lot of people, but I think a lot of people would agree with it. So we'll talk about that at full time. But I mean, ultimately, I always felt that tonight was a gimme. It was a gimme. There's not a load of. I don't think we were ever going to lose this game, and I don't think any result was ever going to really put any pressure onto Ollie or the players. It's all going to be about Arsenal, and probably next Thursday against AZ Alkmaar is going to be a tough game as well. I mean, nobody's talking about that, but that's going to be a tough game. And then you've got Newcastle. So the next 3 games for Ollie are big before the international break. And then, to be honest with you, straight after the international break, I think we're losing to Liverpool. I really do. I think they're just way better than us. So tonight was almost a bit of a breather for Ollie, and I think we felt that as fans, but I just don't think Rochdale have got a goal in them. Glenny X Nobley says Brandon Williams seems to be the second most ready player behind Greenwood. Defo better than Young. We need to see him more now. He looks physically good, doesn't he? I don't know a lot about Brandon Williams because I'll honestly put my hands up. I'm not one of those top Reds who says I watch every under-23 game, I watch every under-21 game, I watch every youth game. I don't. I'm not that person. I probably watch a handful of each per season, but he looks good. And to be honest with you, I prefer to do that because I think if you watch too much youth football, you get over excited about effectively. Look, let me just say, Tahith Chong in youth football he looks like the next George Best. In senior football, he doesn't look anywhere near ready yet. So I prefer to these young players to get thrown into the first team, and then you look at them comparable to the level they need to be at. And I must admit, although it's only like 20 minutes he's been playing, he does look physically up for it, and I think that's a big thing. And he might have a very good future in the game. He looks good. 4th round draw tonight, Mark, says Matt of Darlow. Well, it'd be nice if United can get through anyway with a team like this, because then you would expect them to play in the next round. Mark, Polish Avron Grazers Bold Heads live on MUTV. This is Erwin Rommel. And I watch a lot of youth team. He captains the team sometimes too. He's solid and very confident. Hashtag not at op red. Fitness unscripted Sharath Kamath. And Rochdale are in here. Rochdale have scored. Off Brandon Williams. Well, it's not off. It's the 16-year-old. Fucking hell. Manchester United won. Rochdale won. And they've been bloody equalised by a kid who isn't even old enough to buy you a pint of beer. Can't even drive a car, but can score against Manchester United. Bloody talk about the youth. Oh, United, we're all about youth and attack. We're attacking young team. And a 16-year-old from bloody Rochdale comes in, has to get a lift from his mum and scores. He can't even have his own bloody haircut. What a joke. 1-1, 15 minutes to go. Rochdale are back in it. Well, some people would say it's only what they deserve. Joel Morris says Chelsea are winning 7-1 against Grimsby Town. Manchester United 1-1. I would say it's probably what Rochdale deserve, and it's probably the one player who deserves it more than anybody. The 16-year-old has scored for... it's just ironic, isn't it? United are all about the youth, and a bloody 16-year-old comes and scores for Rochdale. 1-1. Kiss my arse. Could be a bloody penalty shootout, this. But you know what? It is only what Rochdale deserved, though. It's been a very equal game, and I'm just... It's not the same as the weekend. But... Greenwood reminds me of Van Persie in his style, says James Verhagen. Yeah, he has got a very good movement. You know what Manchester United remind me of? Stoke City. Bloody, that's what we remind me of. It's just the... I don't even feel for the players. There's some young lads out there. You can't be critical of Brandon Williams. He comes in on the back post. Pereira, whoever. It's the style of football of Manchester United. We play one way against West Ham with donkeys in it, like Mata and Matic. But then we play the same way with Pogba and Fred and Lingard, who, whatever you think about those players, they are quicker, tenacious players. It's the style of football. It's coming from the training ground. These players, it's very easy to blame Matic and Mata because they are donkey slow. But has Pogba been quick? Has Fred been tenacious? We've played 2 holding midfielders against Rochdale at home. It's tragic. It's bloody tragic. I don't know what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's doing. I don't know what his tactics are. I don't know why he's playing like this. Like, you can sort of see why he does it against West Ham. Oh, I don't want to lose. But it's bloody Rochdale. League One Rochdale. I don't even know where bloody Rochdale is. I don't even think their fans know where it is. And it's 1-1. And we've got bloody Pogba on the pitch, Fred on the pitch, Lingard on the pitch. And we're playing 2 holding midfielders. Apparently it's Ollie's defending in the box, so in turn he must get his sack. This fan base sometimes, says Lincoln Jackanamine. No, well, Lincoln, I'm not saying Ollie out. I'm just saying I don't understand why he won't play the way he did in the first 3 months. The tactics are weird. Sander Herrera's lost for words. Ollie's not getting the sack. So anybody who's saying Ollie out, you're foolish. He's not getting the sack. The club absolutely love. The abuse of Chong on Twitter tonight is a disgrace, says Alex Prentice. Well, that's a sad, sad state of affairs with our fan base, isn't it? Disgusting. Disgusting to blame Tahith Chong. Pogba's just had a shot low, and it wasn't. It was Greenwood who shot, and that one actually wasn't on target. Ollie is making it hard to be Ollie in, says Christopher Liu. You know we'll go and get a result against Arsenal on Monday, though. You know, Arsenal fans will be like, yeah. I guarantee we'll get a result against Arsenal on Monday. Because I can't but understand how a United fan who's been watching us for the last 6 years don't think we'll get a result against Arsenal on Monday. Because when we never lose 10 games in a row, what we do is we're crap in games like this and West Ham, and then we go and get a result against Arsenal, and everyone thinks, oh, we're going to be good again, and we have a couple of good results. And remember Mourinho against Juventus, somehow we managed to beat them in the Champions League, and then he goes and has a load of shit results. So we are capable, these players are capable of turning up in isolated games, and I think they probably will on Monday. I don't expect us to lose against Arsenal. I think we might lose against AZ Alkmaar. Why am I even watching this as Texas C? I can't even believe we're 1-1. I can't even believe we're 1-1 against Rochdale. I'm never doing a score prediction again against crap sides, because you always say, Doherty said to me in the hour before the game, what are you going for? And I went, well, we never score more than 3. It probably should be 4 or 5, but I'm just going to go with 3-0. Bloody never, we never get near it. We never get near it. When was the last time we actually beat a team comfortably? And then you've got Deno Ndwagi saying Chelsea won 7-1 with kids. Maybe ours aren't ready. I think it's a deeper problem, mate. I think it's a tactical problem, to be honest. I've sort of woken up to it. If we're not going to play Pogba in an advanced position in a game like this, why did we keep him, says Alligator. I think he's wondering the same. Spencer Aspinall, it's okay saying believe in Ollie, but what are we believing in other than youth? What can we do really to get the message to the board to sack Egghead Ed? They won't do that. How can Oxford beat West Ham 4-0 and we lose 2-0 to West Ham? Well, they're probably playing a totally different team, to be honest with you, Toby Sefa. And a 16-year-old boy scores against Manchester United. You can't write a better headline. The board and unqualified Ollie should be ashamed. Criminal, both out. And I'm fuming. Ooh, God. Bit boring. Well, I'm interested to see what Rance has got to say on the fan cams. He is there. We will have fan cams for you later. We've also got my match reaction. 28 minutes added on at Burton versus Bournemouth, says Jordan Such. Why? What's going on? See, this is United again. Side to side to side to side to put a cross in the box. The tactics are terrible. They're absolutely terrible. Side to side to side to side. Matters coming on. Don't worry. It's not looking good, is it? Where's my peppermint tea? It's probably gone cold. It has. Mamma mia. It's painfully clear that Ollie is way out of his depth at this level. Don't want to see him sacked, but we're in big trouble, says Upbeat Sarcastic. United on this hat. Rochdale have defended really well. Rochdale actually, you know, I will say Rochdale deserve everything they're getting in this game. They've absolutely battled their arse off, and I think if United showed that sort of a fight and you know, passion, they wouldn't have problems every week. Lingard off the matter. You can't argue with that, can you? Really? You can't argue with that. penalty shootout is what, 5 minutes away. Need something stronger than just tea after this, says Vinbar. I know. I'm trying to have a dry week this week as well. Ollie subbed the youth. Lingard for experience. Good run by Dan James. Cuts it back to Wan-Bissaka. No goal. No goal. New Manchester Derby. It's getting tense in this game, says Ezra for PM. God, that's banter. And Joshua Davies says, seems like we're relying on individual brilliance to win us games. No team spirit, no tactics, unable to adapt to formations. I think it's a training ground problem at the moment with Manchester United. I really do. I know that's harsh to say, but I think, this is a different set of players with the same problem we had against West Ham and the same problem we've been having all season. Southampton as well. We just cannot create chances and break teams down. Can United get a late winner? They're on the attack. Jordan Such, it's banter. Lingard plays for 80 plus minutes and comes off for Mata, who played 80 minutes himself the other day. And Ben's Marty says, Marco, I've lost all confidence in United. The tactics on the training ground is terrible. No sense of urgency in attack. It's really sad. Well, we might have a bloody penalty shootout here, which for young players is hard, isn't it? United still got 5 minutes. They are quite relentless at the moment. Fred shoots, keeper saves. I think we're going to be looking at penalty shootouts here. Another sub for Rochdale. They're taking off the 16-year-old who got the goal. Liam Garner, how is the youth meant to reach their potential with Ollie's tactics and these dead wood players that keep taking their spaces? That's from Liam Garner. Nicholas O'Halloran, my mate David is unemployed and our club is a shambles, says Nicholas O'Halloran. And oh yeah, says Chelsea bought two 17-year-olds and won 7-1 with Odie and Reece James scoring. You can see the distinct difference between us and them. Yeah, we're talking about, our owners keep talking about this youth investment like we've got these superstars waiting to come through. Actually, Chelsea have got way more than us. And Kate Kill07 says Ollie is sat next to Mike bloody Phelan every game. There shouldn't be such tactical confusion. Is he not listening to advice, maybe? Jamie O'Neill says United have had 27 shots and they've had 5. But you know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right in a way. But how many of those shots have been gilt-edged chances? How many of those have been really good chances? Because out of those 5 chances that Rochdale had, the one they scored was, very, very close to goal. And what about the one they missed that Wan-Bissaka clipped off the line? They were the 2 best chances of the game. All our shots have been edge of the box, just inside the box. Apart from Pogba's header, we haven't really had clear-cut chances in this game, and that's the problem. Shots on goal can be deceptive. I mean, Rojo had about 6 of those shots from his own half, So we've had lots of shots, but they're not clear-cut chances because we don't create enough of those. He was like this at Cardiff, apparently, somebody just said. Still a few minutes to come here. Six minutes of added time here for United. Dama Ooh says, after this, I don't want to hear anything about kids again. I'd rather watch women's football than Pampers FC, says the legend. Women's football's quite watchable, to be honest with you. And I run Cardiff's worst ever manager right here, says Luckman Osman. I agree with you that the problem is tactics, says Sinner Suras, but isn't coaching staff and Ollie at fault for that? Haven't seen any progress in style of play since last year, hence I'm Ollie out. Board also at fault for all. No, I totally agree. When I said it's tactics, I totally mean that it comes down to the coaching staff and Ollie. I don't understand what the tactics are. We're bloody awful, says Tyler Watts. I think there's a very different 11 tonight to what we saw against West Ham, but there's the same outcome. That's because the philosophy and the vision is exactly the same. It's poor. It's really poor. We're clueless on the attack. There's a lot of shots, but there's not a lot of really good chances for United. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we got fan cams coming up after this, and I think whatever United do now, there's going to be a lot of unhappy fans on the fan cam, so make sure you join in for that. We've got my match reaction. We're live at 8 o'clock every night, and I'm dreading the next few days. We've got combined 11 with Arsenal to do. We've got previews with Arsenal Fan TV boys to do. They're going to be smug, aren't they? You know, they beat Forest 5-0 yesterday with some of their kids, and there's, you know... Don't listen to anybody fake scoring, because I'm literally there's only about a 3-second delay on this, so by the time they time 2-1, if I'm not saying 2-1, it's a fake score really. Hypothetically, if Ollie was to get sacked, who would you want to replace him, given the club's current status as I'm bottle job? I don't know. You know, at this stage, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being sacked might come to pass. Of course it do. Listen to the podcast. Me and Flex spoke about that quite honestly. But to be honest with you, it's not about that. It is about that. Of course it is, because the tactics are awful at the moment. But it's more about the board. You know, they're coming out with this absolute Mary Poppins bullshit about what a great plan and long-term strategy we've got, when we've never been as bad as we are. We've never been in a worse situation, and there's all this talk of youth, and you know, there are youth players playing for Arsenal and Liverpool and Chelsea over the last couple of nights who look ready, and we're talking about this youth, this invisible youth that's not ready. Like Greenwood, yeah, maybe, but most of them just do not look ready. So what? And we know the first team squad's shit. United nearly scored. It's bobbling in the 6-yard box, and I think that there's a foul by Pogba. Dan James put it over the bar anyway, but it's Pogba who sort of missed it, and then he gets fouled. Harry Currell, you've just got yourself blocked off the channel now for just putting a stupid comment. You know, it's stupid. I don't know why you do it. Yeah, Matt has been invisible, hasn't he? Watch all the top Rebs blame Pogba for this game, says Bozan Alan Akin Rugby. Pereira with the shot, keeper spilt it, and he's gone out for a throw-in. But why is it just Pogba's fault tonight? A lot of people saying there's a lot of red seats. People listening. But why is it just Pogba's fault? Why is it not Mata's fault when he's come on? Why is it not Jesse Lingard's fault? Why is it not... Still a minute to go in this. United are forcing the issue now. You wonder why they haven't been doing this from minute one. Mata's got the corner. See, Pereira's still on the pitch, isn't he? So why is Mata not on him? United still on the attack. Pogba. I think this is going to penalties, everybody. Joshua Davies says, not saying Ollie out, but something needs to change. What do you change, Mark? The whole club's broken, mate. Gary Neville said it a year ago. The whole club is broken. Like, it's absolutely broken. Like, so, you know, it's only going to change if the people at the top change, isn't it? Penalties. So Rochdale have sent Manchester United to a penalty shootout. It's absolutely unbelievable. Well, it's not unbelievable, is it? I mean, is there any Manchester United fan that's really surprised by this? Because I'm certainly not. But to me, it's just, I don't really want to go in on many of the players, because I think tonight, yet again, like the West Ham game, it's tactical. If you can't see this is about tactics, then I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on, because it's so clearly about tactics, as far as I'm concerned. Tactically, we're inept. Everything's down the wide when we've got nobody in the middle. Everybody wants to take an extra touch. It's side to side to side, put a cross into nobody in the middle. If we were going to be a team that was going to put loads of crosses in, why did we get rid of Lukaku? Because it's something he's actually good with. So yeah, I'm very, very disappointed with what's going on at Manchester United, obviously, and I think tactically we're just clueless, absolutely clueless. And now the sad thing about this is that we are putting ourselves into a situation whereby we are very, very, very reliant on young players. Well, Mason Greenwood will take a penalty, won't he? And if he misses that penalty, you worry. Well, actually, I think he's a very confident lad, but you worry about the sort of pressure on these younger players. So I don't know. I think it's a concern, isn't it? It's a big concern. But the bigger picture is we're being bantered again. We're banter pants, aren't we? Again, we're going to get bantered. We're going to be banter kings, because that's what's going to happen, because everyone's going to be laughing about the fact that Rochdale have taken Manchester United to penalties with players like Fred and Pogba and Jesse Lingard in the starting lineup. It's not good enough, and Mata comes on and Dan James comes on, and we still can only get one goal. It's sad, and to be honest with you, Rochdale had a very, very good chance as well, other than the goal that they scored. So I would not have predicted this. I'm an idiot for not predicting it. You know what? Even I thought against Rochdale at home will be fine. But I should have predicted this, because you just think we're not that bad. We're not that bad, with all due respect to Rochdale. We're not that bad that we won't beat Rochdale. And the reality is, of course we're bad. Of course we're that bad. We're bloody awful. We're absolutely shite. We're absolutely shite. Topaz won't take him anyway, says Nicholas O'Halloran. Lincoln Jackadumani says, our fan base calls for Ollie to start the youth but proceed to take a dump on said youth. Lingard in 2016, Chong in 2019, both are being hurled threats at tonight. Really? Oxford 4, West Ham 0, says Mark Whitten. Look, the thing is, I don't really see anybody in the live comments going in on any players tonight, and I think that's quite a good thing. I don't think you can blame any of the players tonight, because I just think the tactics are dead. I really do think that they're dead, and that for me is the issue. The tactics are the problem, and the lack of quality, of course, and that goes to the board. So you're blaming the board there, aren't you? But I don't know what Ollie's doing. I don't know why he's playing two holding midfield players against Rochdale at Old Trafford. I don't know why we're playing two holding midfielders against Leicester and bloody West Ham, to be honest. But why you do it against Rochdale? Why he thinks 4-2-3-1 is the way forward when he won everything for 3 months playing a 4-3-3. But tactically, I think tonight not good enough again, and we're starting to face reality here, aren't we, people? It's concerning. 30,000 people watching. I wonder how many of those are actually Manchester United fans or people just tuning in for a bit of banter. Don't want to see Pereira in a red shirt again, says Rohan Joel. We've got the penalties to come. Well, at least Phil Jones got substituted and we haven't got to go his bloody hazard warning yellow boots. Oh, he's bloody missed it. We don't have to see that. We've got Juan Mata coming forward. Father Time is going to come forward first. Juan Mata will take the first penalty. Look, he may be past it. He may be one of the world's best vlog writers and a past it footballer. But Juan won't miss this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Juan Mata's waiting to take it, but he ain't taken it yet. My main focus now is that Manchester United win this game of football. That's my main focus now. Manchester United have got to win this game of football, because if they don't, it's another bloody joke, isn't it? You know, it's not even... You know what? Everything we're doing this season is the B-Tech version. We lost to Derby on the bloody penalties last year, but they were a championship club. We're now playing Rochdale a year later and losing. We lost to West Ham. Well, we're on penalties. We lost to West Ham last year, and we lose to West Ham even worse this year. Ollie puts faith in Pereira, Lingard and others so-called senior players, and he gets thrown under the bus. Keane called it. These players are disgraceful, says Aha. I can only remember that we cut through once with James passing across to Wan-Bissaka, says Willem Kronstedt. Right, here comes Juan Mata with the first penalty for Manchester United, and he tucks it into the bottom corner. He can do one thing right, Juan Mata. He's celebrating it like he's won the World Cup. He's not really. He's not. He's scored. Juan Mata has scored. It is 1-0 to Manchester United. Let's just get through this penalty shootout, have a shower, and pretend we won 4-0 and get off social media. These players should be beating Rochdale regardless of tactics. Ollie in, says James Gallagher. You're right. You're actually, I applaud that. You are right. So here comes Rochdale with their penalty. Romero is normally good at penalties, and he's put it low, even though Romero went the right way. It's 1-1 on penalties. All I want to happen in these penalties is for Pogba and Greenwood to score, because if Pogba scores, the haters are going to be all over it. And Lingard's bloody lucky he's got himself subbed, because he'd be the prat who misses. Pereira in his turquoise boots. He's got to score. Light blue boots. Why is he wearing light blue boots? Light blue boots are Man City. And Pereira slots it home nicely as well. Takes penalties well because he's good at... That's why he should be at set pieces. He's a good dead ball specialist. Mata and Pereira, both good at that. They've given us a platform. So it's up now for Rochdale to take their penalty. Surely the quality of Manchester United's penalties will be good enough to get us through. And Rochdale have missed their second penalty. It's a good save, but it's a crap penalty. A bit low, but Romero does. I mean, you play... This is an Argentinian goalkeeper. And that doesn't make sense. He's an Argentinian national team goalkeeper, Romero. Like, he will have faced plenty of penalties in his career. And Romero could be the man who gets us through here. Fred comes through. Fred's coming up next. You confident of the Liverpool game coming up soon, says Nissa Pongi. I'm about as confident as I would be if I was tied up with a load of dogs who hadn't been eaten for a month and had been bathed in pedigree chum. Liverpool are going to batter us. Liverpool will batter us. And Fred scores his penalty as well. Low, keeper goes the right way. United looking good now. 3-2 to Manchester United. Fred has scored. So Rochdale a little bit of pressure on them now. I think United are going to get over the line, aren't they? For God's sake, please get over the line. Subscribe if you're new, by the way. We've got loads of people watching. I don't know. Hopefully you've found the channel. You enjoy the channel. You're very, very welcome. Hopefully some of you are Manchester United fans and you're not just here for the banter. So please do subscribe. We've got fan cams coming up afterwards. I think Rance is going to go absolutely apeshit, to be honest with you. Rochdale have just scored. They've tucked it low and sent Romero the wrong way. So United are leading 3-2 on penalties at the moment. Greenwood has got to score. Mason Greenwood. He should not come out of this game missing a penalty because the senior pros and all his tactics are shit. This is the future of Manchester United. This is genuine future for Manchester United. He got the goal last week against Astana. He got the goal tonight. If he misses this penalty and has that on his card, that ain't fair. So I want Mason Greenwood to score. Up he steps. Yeah, sends the keeper the wrong way. Back of the net. Reliable. Reliable as a Duracell battery in a... No, that's it. He's reliable. So Manchester United, Rochdale have got 2 left. 2 left for Rochdale. I think if Romero saves it, we're through. Rochdale. Yeah, they've scored, so it's 4-3. So it's going to be on Pogba to score, or James to score. Pogba doesn't take a penalty. Why is Pogba not taking a bloody penalty, for God's sake? He wasn't subbed. That's disgusting from Pogba, isn't it? Not taking a penalty. Bloody hell. Dan James scores for Manchester United. Look, I ain't going to celebrate about that too much. I'm not going to celebrate about that too much. Manchester United have knocked out Rochdale on penalties 5-3. I'm going to say, you know what? Well done to Rochdale. You thoroughly deserved the penalty shootout. At the end of the day, quality should shine through in a penalty shootout, and it did. That is banter pants from Manchester United. Absolutely banterful. Really, my God. Join us for the next round of the Carabao Cup, 30,000 people, and watch us try and force a bloody grapefruit out the size of your arse, because that was painful. That was painful stuff from United. And, I mean, what's next? Arsenal, AZ Alkmaar and Newcastle. And we're struggling at home to Rochdale with a lot of our better players in shit tactics. But I've got a list as long as War and Peace. And there won't be any peace on my match reaction to talk about. And we've got fan cams. Links in the video description. I'll be live in 1 minute's time with the match reaction. It's going to go off like a bottle of pop. There's a lot of home truths that need to be spoken about, isn't there? So join me for the match reaction. Links in the video description. I'll see you there in about a minute's time. That was shit, wasn't it? Let's be honest. We'll talk more in a minute. See you in a moment. Link in the video description.